like 10 minutes from me or something. I don't know. I don't know who that is, though. Anyways, we're live. Happy Friday to everybody. Happy TGIF. I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, Troy, Mountain Man Treasure. So,
What's
Troy,
going
I
on,
got to
man?
tell you, there's one guy here in my warehouse that has a different warehouse from me that watches me because of my reselling stuff. He wasn't a reseller before he started watching me. And then he saw the thumbnail for today and he goes, "Did you shave your beard because you were intimidated by being with someone like Troy and the beard he had?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's exactly why I did it." So,
Yeah, anytime I see a picture of or a video of Drew Strickland, I cry a little.
yeah, his is even more intense. Yeah.
Yeah.
That takes commitment, man. I did it for about a year and I was like, "Yeah, I'm done." So, we'll see. I might get bored of this and grow it back, but yeah. So, Mountain Man, I'm guessing you live like by the beach then, right? That
Yeah,
would make sense. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's not a nice beach. You can't. We have Montana beaches, like
It
yeah.
was like a lake and some like fake
There's
sand.
some sand by the lake. Yeah, there's
There
no
we go.
dirt. Yeah,
There's waves. There's somebody that could jet ski driving around you. Then waves are formed. Yeah, that's
we
what I
definitely have
figured.
lakes. We have those.
Dead lakes. Yeah. So you're from Montana, right?
Yep. Yeah, I'm in western Montana. If you look at the map, we're almost exactly halfway between Glacier National Park. Well, where are we? Okay, there's reversed on the screen. Glacier is up here, and Yellowstone is down here, and we're the midpoint between the two national parks.
Interesting. So is that like between North South Dakota? I'm looking at the map right now.
Well, I'm farther. I'm west of both of them.
No, oh, west. You're by Idaho.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, right next to Idaho.
Yeah. I hear
Yeah,
good things about Idaho and reselling. I hear there's like a lot of good things there.
yeah. The
I,
Hoogs are over there and do really well.
and Osborne, Tim.
Osborne to Thrift.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I hear good things. Don't really hear good things about Montana, but I think you guys just want to keep it down.
yeah.
And
We
then
don't
say,
we don't
hey,
we don't want to tell anybody.
there's nothing
Yeah.
over here. Just stay
You know,
where you guys are.
it's funny because I get people that comment on videos all the time of you find such great stuff, and I do find neat stuff because you find different. You find a lot Philadelphia. I mean, it's old. It's a very old area,
Yeah.
so you find a lot of historical stuff and a lot of stuff like that. I find a lot of that Western stuff, or like we find different things in different places. So it I think you can find neat stuff wherever you are.
Yeah,
It's
I feel
easier.
like I feel like every area, like I'm sure you probably find a lot of good like camping and hiking stuff where you
Yeah,
are, right? Just because
yeah.
just the area where you are. And, like I barely find any cool or Patagonia or anything like that around here because there's just no mountains to hike at or whatever. So
Yeah, I
I feel
picked
like
up
every area
some.
has its advantages based on
What did I pick up
what you're looking
today?
for.
Some Oakley, North Base. Like I get a lot of outdoor
Yeah,
stuff here, but it is harder. I mean, you were showing your map before we started of all your sales tomorrow, and
yeah.
I pulled up Craigslist. I have 11, and some of them are estate sales that started today or garage sales that
There
started
you go,
today.
guys.
I
If you guys
bet
want to
there's
get
four or
jealous,
five that
you can get.
like it's really hard in this area. I mean, I'm in a place that's like 35,000,
Hmm.
so it's I traveled east about a month ago to Billings, one of the bigger cities in Montana, at like 110,000 people, and it was so easy going to garage sales because everybody was spread out. Here there was one garage sale today that sounded pretty good, and apparently all the resellers in town thought it sounded pretty good because there was like 9 of us standing there waiting for it to open. Like that's what it's like here. I mean, there's enough resellers that they all go to the sales, and so it's really hard after you hit the first sale or two. Everything's been hit, so you have to get good at finding the unique stuff, or you're not going to make it.
Yeah. Well, I kind of, even though I have so many here, I have the same problem because there's so many more resellers here than like I would say probably where you are in Montana. There's probably hundreds of resellers in my area. So like I even learned kind of not to stay away from community sales, even though like that's kind of like all laws say you should go to community sales because that's where all the yard sales are. But every single other resellers goes to community sales first. So I
Yeah,
try to hit the ones on the way and try to find some other ones like just follow the signs or whatever. And I'm usually there by myself, and that's way more enjoyable than me going to a community sale and being surrounded by resellers and like racing from yard sale to get to the good stuff.
yeah.
But I feel like you could probably find things regardless because you don't look just for like two or three things. You can
No,
just
I look for,
yeah,
I mean, all kinds of stuff. I never know and that started because of, like I said, like I had to learn the
yeah,
the unique stuff, but also because I was part time. So I was getting to these sales like on Friday, I'd get there in the afternoon, or Thursday at an estate sale in the afternoon. I had to find the weird random stuff that the full-time people left behind.
Yep.
So I think that's helped now that I moved full-time, is I'm used to finding the weird stuff that nobody thinks is worth money, or that nobody looks at, because they think it's not worth my time. If I can pick it up and make $10 on it, and it's really easy, I don't mind, especially if I can pick up a bunch of them.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same way. And then when you do find the things that are like video games, it's like it just makes it even better. Like it's like, oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Like I found the good stuff as well on top of this.
Which, speaking of
leftover
yesterday, 2 days ago, I've got a buddy in town that once you build sort of that access, build that relationship. He runs a thrift store in town, and we've built up a nice relationship. Well, he started doing estate sales, and he just started. His first one was this weekend. And he said, hey, I asked the lady, she doesn't mind if I sell early. Do you want to come on over?
Ooh.
I hit that estate sale.
Oh, boy.
I basically had a private pick at an estate sale.
Nice.
It was such a weird experience.
Yeah.
To be able to just take my time and leisurely walk through and comp stuff and go, is this worth it? Because you can't when it's full of people. You got to just grab. Yeah. I walked out of there, man, I got 2 ColecoVisions.
Wow.
One of them in the box. It's ripped, but it still has the box. There's a bunch of games. There's a Magnavox DVD VCR combo, still new and sealed, inside the box.
Wow.
That's like a $350, $400 unit. I got one of those Audubon clocks that have the bird songs in it.
Yep. I just saw one of those like 2 days ago. Yeah.
I pulled so many cool things out of there, and I'm thinking, man, if I would have gone to this estate sale, I'd have gotten 1 or 2 of those.
If that, right? Yeah.
But
yeah.
being able to build that relationship, especially in a place where competition is really high, that's huge. And so I'm thrilled to be able to have that access now. And I paid up a little bit, but you pay up for that access.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I went to a couple of privates myself, and I always pay up there just because you want them to call you back. That's you don't want them to say, well, this guy, we called him, and then he tried to argue, haggle off the price, and we don't want him back now. Yeah, no. You got to pay up with those things just.
Yeah, because he's got another one in October, and I want him to call me again.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, let's say hi to some folks before we get back into it. What's up, Junk Monkey? Says, howdy, my name is Kyle. I'm addicted to reselling. What's up, Selena? Selena Silver Strifts. Shelly. It's kind of funny. I just finished want to destroy his video when he said 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm like, oh, it's literally 8:54. There we go. What's up, Brian? Brian Klaus is apparently my local competition, but I never seen him. So I don't know. But just feel like he's in the rich areas. I'm in the poor area, so we're never going to see each other. Sunburn Flipper is here. How you doing? Bama picking and grinning. What's up, John? How you doing? What's up, James? If I fart and no one is around, does it make a sound? That's a good question. What's up, Juanita? Hello from Texas. This thing says Dragonite. I have Charmander. I don't have any Dragonites behind me, but I
have a giant one. I should have brought him over to show you. I have like a giant Charmander plush.
You have a giant Charmander? You didn't send him my way?
No. Well, he's up for sale for like $100. So.
Oh, well. If I have a good weekend, maybe I'll think about it. What's up, Bigfoot's Junk? How are you doing? What's up, Shay? How are you? Paul showing us how well the teach geography in Philly. I'm sorry, I don't know my east and my west. Okay. What's up, Jane? Sorry, can't say it. It's all good. Thank you for dropping by. What's up, Ken? What's up, Dustin? You know this guy?
Yeah.
Man, I've just seen his video yesterday. The crazy one. You talk about competition. There's one where he said like the craziest yard sale ever.
Yeah, that video game.
Yeah, the lady said go, and they just legit
that was insanity.
That was like remind me of like being in Central Park and feeding birds like bread to pigeons. That's exactly what it reminded me of. That was crazy, man.
I admittedly didn't understand. I'm watching that video. I'm going, I would just pick up a tote.
Exactly.
I didn't understand. Everybody's grabbing it, throwing it into bags, and then somebody got mad. Like, he just took the whole tote.
I'm like, that's exactly what I would have done. Like, I would have definitely just taken the whole tote.
I would just pick up a tote and say, this one's mine.
Yeah, just like, I don't care what it is, SNES or NES or whatever, I'm just taking the whole tote. It's going to be good. Sure, I love the hat. The man who created spam is from a small town near me. They have a spam festival. There's no actual spam. There you go.
I love random hats. I wore a Justin Bieber hat on the channel the other day just to freak people out. So,
What's up, Spear of Manu? Bonjour. She says, hello from France. It's a little late in France right now. It's like 3 in the morning or something. So, thank you for being here. Kyle says 9. That's how many? You love my cup. Thank you, Shelly. It's Toucan Sam. I was telling Troy earlier. It's a very adult cup, so it's good. Share Bear, how are you doing? See who else? Baldy Palace here. What's up, Baldy? What's up, Larry? Ronald, man, Ronald. You know Ronald. Ronald's a legend.
Ronald's on it.
Ronald
He
watches every
one of my
single
videos.
video. Yeah, appreciate the support, Ronald. Janine, how you doing? Frosty, Melissa and Kurt say, hey, that's probably to you because I don't know who they are. But do you know who Frosty is?
I don't. It's not connecting. But maybe I met them. Did I meet you last weekend?
I don't know.
I met so many people.
Hopefully
And I
it's
was
not
kind
me.
of in a fog. Admittedly. I was so tired.
Let's see. We're on opposite sides of the city. I hit Eastern, Monco, and Bucks. Oh, yeah. See? The rich areas, right. Exactly. I go to the poor areas. Perfectly Blessed is here. How are you doing? And we cut up. Do you eat cereal the cup? I mean, because you have to. I do eat cereal the cup, but it was the only thing that was around, so I am drinking some cherry Pepsi out of it today. What were you? What's your drink of choice today, Troy?
I got some. I mean, it's just one of those drink mixes. So I've got a backup once I empty that. So it's a I think it's a Crystal Light, but it has caffeine in it. So it's a winner.
Interesting. First, I said that they bought some ducks and they love your channel.
Oh, okay.
Definitely not me.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't sell ducks. That's all you know. I'm
Yeah.
not a duck seller.
Those things have been flying out of here.
Yeah, they're more popular than Entenmann's now, man. People want.
I think so. Yeah, it's the new Entenmann.
Way better than the NC Piggies as
Yeah.
well. So.
Yeah. And I sent Dave a pig duck today, actually, or a couple days ago. He got it today, I think.
Pig duck.
Yeah.
What's up, Krillin? Krillin, you're allowed to guess. Yeah, guess where this guy's from. I would like to hear your guesses based on what he has behind you. I feel like there's a dead giveaway. Isn't that the
Right.
state flag behind you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really hide it.
Let me guess. California, based on that flag.
I needed something to block I have a shade across the window, but the sun hits it so hard that I needed something to kind of filter the light coming in. So we put a couple flags up there.
Oh, cranberry ginger ale. Nice. All right. What is your favorite product to sell?
I don't know if I have one favorite thing, sometimes I go through phases of this is currently my favorite. I mean, one of them is hats. I mean, I have 3 bins of hats right now.
Yeah.
Because actually I have to list. I picked up, I don't know where they went. I picked up 4 of them today and I took pictures before the show started. I mean, they're so easy. I haven't even comped them, but this is a fishing brand. This is probably a $15 or $20 hat. I found a Carhartt hat. This thing is going to go easy for $20.
And it's going to sell in a couple days. Yeah.
Another Carhartt.
Nice.
It's going to sell for $20-$25. And I threw in an Oakley visor. I don't know if it's any good or not, but it's Oakley.
No, probably, yeah.
I got them for once I bundled them for $1.50 a piece. And even basic hats, you're going to sell for $10-$12.
Yep.
So they're not going to break during shipping. It's one of those things. They're easy to store. It takes seconds to put them in a box. So stuff like that where, it's long tail, it's going to take a while, but I have 3 bins. And so it's rare that I go a week without selling 2, 3, 4 hats.
Yep.
So, I love selling stuff like that. Media, video games, same sort of deal. I like that stuff.
And then some hats can surprise you too. You'd be like, whoa, this one sells for 50. I thought it was going to sell for 15.
I've sold, I found I've now found 2 of the 3 stripe Pepsi hats. They sold for $125 or something.
Nice.
I mean, I found some really high dollar, you can find those $40, $50 hats. They're not all that rare. I mean, you find them, they're not all the time, but once a month maybe you could find a pretty high dollar hat. I sold one to Canada last week. What was it? Was it a North Face hat for $40 plus international shipping?
A used North Face hat? Just
No,
like a
it still
regular,
had the tags on it, so that helped.
I was going to say, used North Face. That's kind of crazy. But
Yeah.
that makes sense. Don't ask Troy which NFL team he likes. Okay, I won't ask you. I'm
Yeah,
guessing Cowboys.
it's the
Based on-
Cowboys.
yeah,
I mean,
I knew it, Brian. See, I could
it's
tell.
a family. It's a family
I,
obligation.
I can sniff him out. I can just sniff him.
Well, I
Usually,
mean, that's the cup, man. It's vintage.
there's no Montana Grizzlies or whatever to cheer for. So
Well, there is a college team, but yeah, that's the nice thing about being in Montana. You get to pick whatever sport. I'm not obligated to a city. You know,
Yeah.
the Colorado Avalanche. That's my hockey team. L.A. Dodgers baseball. I can go all over the map. Don't matter.
What's your basketball team?
I don't really have.
You don't watch
I mean,
basketball? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll watch it during the playoffs, but I don't really enjoy it. Like, I'm going to sit down and watch it. Here and there, I'll watch it.
Makes sense. What's up, Dawn and Mary? How are you doing? He goes, Canada. Is that where you're from? Canada.
Canada is our hat.
You have a big U.S. flag behind you. He's asking if you're from Canada. That's funny. What's up,
I
Shed?
honeymooned
How are you
in
doing?
Canada.
We have a restaurant here called Montana. It's interesting.
Nice.
I can't make Canadian jokes. You can make Canadian jokes. We just probably won't understand them. That's all it is. And thank you, Flower Girl. Appreciate that. So, what did you do before you were full-time reselling?
I was well. Most immediately, I worked at a radio station for the last 6 years.
Knew it. Knew
I
it.
I escaped out of my very first job in high school was in radio. Actually, a sophomore in high school, I started on the air in radio. Did that through college. Moved into newspapers, kind of accidentally in college, and I started as a part-time like kid answering phone calls on a Friday night in the sports department, and eventually moved up to sports editor, sports writer at various different places. And then the industry got really scary. I mean, people were getting laid off everywhere. And I was working 6 days a week doing multiple jobs.
Wow.
It was awful. And so at some point I was like, I got to get out of this thing. It's killing me. It's making me miserable. And so then I escaped back into radio, was sort of my escape hatch.
Yeah.
And that's when I started doing eBay sort of on the side part-time. And then I don't know where we're at now, like six months ago or something. I went.
I think you announced it on April Fool's Day, if I'm not mistaken.
I think maybe it was. And I went
because I didn't believe you at first. I was like, this is one of those April Fool's videos. Here we go again. But I think you actually were serious about it.
Yeah, which I thought was fun.
Chris says, I'm surprised Paul allowed a Cowgirls fan on here. Yeah, right, Chris? I let things slide sometimes.
Allowed.
What's up, Angie? How are you? What's up, Sarah? How are you doing? Yeah. So, how did you? So you working at a radio station. How do you like learn about reselling? Like, where did that come from? About?
I had a buddy. He lives like I'm pointing, like you can see. He lives over like 4 blocks away, and I found out like that was his job. Like, he was a full-time reseller, and I had no idea that was a thing. Right? Like, just like many people, right? They don't realize like you can actually make money doing that. And so I started to think, because we had medical bills and school loan and all that, and I thought, you know what, if we could do something extra, get a couple $100 extra a month, that just throw it at all the debt, the loans, all that, we'd be able to pay them off sooner. And so I was like, hey, can you teach me how to do this? And so he helped me. It was actually during the NFL playoffs. I remember, because I don't remember. Oh, was it a Marshall Faulk jersey? I think he was like, oh, perfect time for this. And so that was one of the first things I listed. We created an eBay account. We created a Poshmark.
Marshall Faulk jersey in the playoffs? This is like 20 years ago?
I think it was in the playoffs. And it was like his former team or something. I don't remember. I think it was a Faulk jersey. But he sat there and helped me set this thing up. And it went from pretty quickly from, I think I could sell a couple things a week, to once it got rolling, it very quickly turned into, my garage is now taken. I can't park in my garage anymore. I haven't been able to for years. We turned it into a factory. This is the warehouse. I just sold a Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation hat for $15. So there you go.
Speaking of hats, look at that.
And a New Era hat for $10. I don't know if somebody's watching and decided, let's go check out his hat.
Somebody might just want to start buying hats from you, man.
I just sold 2 hats. So
there we go. So I think it's probably someone just wants to prove a point that hats are good.
Right. It turns from
Also, I
a,
don't know if you were aware, but ever since Ginger Marvin was on my show, I'm starting to rule that anytime you sell something, you owe me 10% of that sale.
oh, is that the
Because
deal?
because when they were here,
Okay.
they sold like 8 things in an hour, and like 2 hours they were here. I was like, okay, you guys gotta start paying me. So that's the rule now.
That's
In
fair.
case people want to know.
You're up to like $2.50. That's
There
good.
we go. Yeah, yeah. Every bit counts. What's going on, Bradford? It says, do you take pictures on your phone? And if you do you use the built-in camera app or download different? Yeah, for me, yes. I take things on my phone. I use the built-in app. If I wanna get a better picture, I pay for Photo Room and I edit it on Photo Room. But yeah, pretty much until like probably I would say like 3 months ago, I even listed from my phone. Now I do it from the computer, but before that, it was everything from phone.
What did you change? Because I do everything on my phone. I ship from a laptop and it's
Yeah.
hooked up to my printer and everything. Like that's the only thing I do on the desktop version is shipping. Everything
I
else is on the phone.
I changed with the new eBay update. The newest one. They made it so it's just like the phone, like the whole listing thing. So because before it was like you have to like fill out so much different things. You got to scroll like 5 hours until you get to like the description or whatever. So, but now with the new update, it was a lot easier. So I just been doing it on the phone. I've been on the browser.
But you have to transfer your pictures to the computer then?
Yeah, but I have an Apple phone and I have
Yeah. So you
a
can airdrop.
MacBook. Yeah, so like
Yeah.
even from the browser, you can click on Get Photos, and then you can click your phone, and you just select them from the phone that way. So yeah,
Yeah.
so it's kind of the same thing.
I just
But
like it
that's
streamlined. I do everything on the phone. And I use Photo Room too. Photo Room is a game changer.
And that's the beauty about what we do is that, like you don't need to like people are like, oh, you want to start reselling, you don't need, like when you ever start a business, you need to put a lot of money down, for equipment or whatever. Reselling, all you need is legit this and a computer to get started. Like you can start making upgrades later on, like a thermal printer and all that other stuff. But in the beginning, all you need is just a phone, and you can get everything else done.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I actually started with. I was getting like the light boxes and stuff like that. And they can certainly help. And they're not a bad thing. But I've slowly started to realize, like, especially with Photo Room, if you have good light, you can take pictures anywhere. And that's
Exactly.
why I love Photo Room is you're not tied down. I was taking pictures in my hotel room in North Carolina, and you photo room it, and it looks perfectly fine. You know, I took a picture of a big blanket on my bed the other day. There was
Yep.
all sorts of, the pillows were on one side, and I moved the blankets down. So all of that disappears when you use photo room, and it's just a white background. The hats I took on the table behind me,
Yeah,
and while I was getting ready,
that's what I do. Yeah.
there's all that clutter back there, but it's not going to matter. Photo room is so good; it'll get rid of all of it. So, I think photo room is a game changer. It's definitely worth the investment.
Especially the batch when you can like batch up to 50 pictures at once and it removes all the background. That's like
Yeah,
love it. We have more people in my county than the entire state of Montana.
Oh,
How does
yeah.
that make you feel?
guaranteed. That's why
Just
we like it here, though.
Surprised Paul shaved. Yeah, I'm surprised too. How many subs until Troy shaved? That's a good question.
Oh, my wife would kill me. Though when we hit, I think it was when we got monetized. I think it was once we got monetized when we hit that sub count. I did shave my head live on.
Oh,
So I did do that, and then I've decided just to go with it. I actually like it. So that was a.
I,
That was a
I feel
turning
like
point.
big beard and shaved head is a good look. I feel like that's like a very like respectable. Like people like
Yeah.
that. You know.
I dig it. Yeah, I can't shave. There's no way. It takes too long. It takes too long to get it to this point.
Yeah, but that's like mine was probably like a year.
You have to
I-
go
I-
through that miserable phase where you look like you came out from under.
Yeah,
a bridge.
yeah. There's like 3 months of just like what is going on.
Yeah, and it itches and it's miserable, and yeah, you have
Yeah.
to go through a lot of work.
What's up, Pinjo? How are you doing? Jennifer Hayes is in the house. Dropping your link. Appreciate that, Jen.
The homeschooling picker just dropped on in.
Yeah, beards for the W. She said. Yeah, I actually FaceTimed her and John when I shaved, and they both like laughed at me for 10 minutes straight. It just legit happened. That's the same for me, Troy. Everything else on the phone except shipping. Yep. What's up, Jen? How are you doing?
Good.
I'm afraid to store anything for reselling in my garage. It gets so stinking hot in there. So Flower Girl, I'm moving to Florida, and I'm going to actually store everything in my garage down there. I feel like if you get 2 or 3 dehumidifier machines, I think you're going to be fine. I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem.
There might be some things that you'd want to store in the house, like if it's like a meltable type of thing, or you know. But here in Montana, I don't have to really worry about humidity or even I mean, it gets hot in the summer, but not like
hot.
Florida hot, right? There's about 3 weeks out of the summer where it's just miserable, and then we're fine.
Brian's going to bed. Have a good night, Brian. I figure it was way past your bedtime. Brian's too old to be
thanks
up.
For popping in, man.
He's saying go sub to Choice Channel. Apparently,
Brian's fantastic.
How much do you pay Brian to say that?
You know, I don't pay the guy anything, but he's like the president of the fan club. So
yeah, well, he's terrible at being a bouncer. Every time you're like you have a premiere, I always get in somehow. So he's terrible at being that.
Well, he's a very friendly bouncer.
Latin Nerd says, first time in your lives, been watching for a while. Thank you. And he goes, good to see you. The Ducks are hard at work already.
You gotta get your ducks in a row, man. Paul, you haven't purchased any ducks. I don't know how you're gonna do this move without any ducks.
Yeah, I feel like I need more than just an element back there. I feel like that's just like terrible representation. I feel like a duck would look good right there.
Yeah, you definitely need some ducks.
Yeah. Where does one get some ducks?
They come to my store, man. They're $4.99 a piece. Actually, the used ones that I find at garage sales, they're $3.99. But the new guys, they're $4.99 plus shipping.
There we go.
They're all different, so it's whatever you're like.
Plus shipping? What are you, a reseller? You charge for shipping now?
Yeah, well, but 10% goes to the Gary Sinise Foundation. So
okay, so
every duck. So we just made payments to him or to the foundation this morning. That was pretty cool to see. You know, all the money we've been able to, and we're auctioning off a hat that's 100% is going there. And actually, one of the viewers bought it last week for like I think it came out to $150, and said, "Don't send it to me, auction it again." So we've got the auction live. So it's such a cool organization. So it's cool to be able to help them out.
Yeah, that's actually where Ryan just asked. Says, how is that going? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw. I can look and see where the hat's at right now, but it's going well. I mean, especially since we've already sold the hat, and we're donating all the 10% of all the ducks. Plus, some people have said, hey, because I'm combining shipping on the ducks, and sometimes they'll say, hey, just keep the extra shipping and give it to the foundation. So we got 4 days left on the hat right now. It's up to $33.
That's awesome. I was like legit shocked when you were helping me out with the Ukrainian Foundation. And how much that artwork sold for, that blew my mind too. I was like, man, people are so giving. It's crazy.
And while I was in here, I checked, and it's Juanita came in and purchased 2 hats, and she's watching, or she was watching at that point. So,
so there we go.
That's awesome. Thank you very much.
Hope you enjoy the hats, Juanita. Juanita, I have some hats in my store too. Wink, wink, wink. Spirit of Mana says, how many items do you list every single day?
I don't have a limit, you know, or I don't do that, the motivation board and all that. I don't, whatever you call it, you know, the dry erase board. I try to get double digits.
You don't have one of those back there?
No, I don't have any sort of board. I don't, you know, and today is because I don't want to then feel bad if I wasn't able to list that many. Like, you know, today I hit sales in the morning. I didn't get home till lunchtime, you know, eat. Mm-hmm. I had 20 orders to pack up. So by the time I get done with that, I've got to do the video, you know, so I made a video for the day, went and dropped off the mail. And now all of a sudden it's 5 o'clock and I haven't done my workout for the day. So I got to do that. I got to be on this guy's YouTube thing tonight. So that takes time.
That was a terrible decision by you.
Today. I've listed nothing. Now I've taken pictures of those hats. And so I'll list them after the show and a couple of other things. I'll get 7 listings up today, probably, you know, and that's not as many as I want. I try to get somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 to 15. If I can push 20, I feel like it's a really good day, but it depends on what you're listing too. Like tomorrow, I want to try and list some video game consoles, that takes longer. I got to test them and clean them, and photographing them takes longer. And so that's different. I can't hold myself to, I want 15 things because I'm listing harder to list things. If it was
Yeah.
video games, easy.
You
Right?
can knock
So
out 15 in an hour with video games. Yeah.
Right. So it's super dependent on what you're listing.
Yeah,
And
that's
what
why
your day-
actually
what your day
I
allows.
switched from. I used to do a number, but now I'm doing just. I have like a monetary goal. I want to list this amount of value every single day.
Yeah.
But that's just like a goal for me. It's not like I can't leave the warehouse until I do that. It's just like a little benchmark, like a mental benchmark for me, and I don't kill myself if I don't go over it. And there's some days where I double and triple that benchmark. It just depends on, again, what I have to list. Like
Yeah.
if it's like a weekend and I bring a bunch of good stuff, I can hit that goal really easily. Now, if it's like on a Tuesday and I'm done with my yard sale stuff and I got to list my dev pile stuff that's been here for a while, it's like $10 items. I just it's,
Yeah.
it's a lot
I
harder
know
that
talking
way.
with Kevin Commonwealth Picker, he kind of does it the same way. He doesn't necessarily look at listing a number a day. He does kind of like you. He's like, I want to try and list $200.
He doesn't
today,
list
or,
anything. That's what
you
his
know.
kids are for. That's
Yeah. I mean,
the kids and
he's
the
got his
wife and
employees, so
the
that.
chickens. That's what they do.
Yeah, that's fair. He makes them get the listings. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's got that same mentality of
He's
and
like
I think I've heard him say before too of however much money you would like to make in a day on eBay, list that amount of money in a day
yeah.
in
Well,
items.
I do that plus 30% because usually, if you have good momentum, eBay usually rewards you about 70% of what you do. So, like they say, you list $100, next day you probably get about $70 in sales. That's
Okay.
usually how it works for me. So,
Yeah.
if I want to make $700, list $1,000. Like that. Just
Yeah.
that's pretty much the math you want to do. But again, the one thing that I learned over the last couple months, because I've been really like focused on that goal, and that I have no time for like fun, and the burnout is real. And
Yep.
so like the one thing I've been learning the last couple of weeks, being sick last couple of days also like kind of helped with that. It's like, hey, like you gotta take it easy sometimes. Like don't kill yourself if you don't get that that number up. Those items will still be there tomorrow. You can still listen to whatever. Like just you don't have to like hit this goal. You're gonna die.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Well, and for us, we're working on the videos too. So anytime you
Yeah.
spend on YouTube, you're not listing. So that makes it hard.
for sure. What's up, Gulf Coast? How you doing? Me and my future neighbors pretty soon. Let's see what else. Selena wants a duck. There you go.
I got a lot of them in the store. Tons of them.
What's up, Ryan? How are you? What's up, Victoria? I'm just scrolling by saying hello to everybody. James goes, someone say hats again? James has like 1 million hats in his store, so he... Oh, that's an interesting question. What's your order record in a day? You said you had a pretty good day today, but was that your best?
Well, and I didn't. Yesterday, it's one of those, like, I think I had 4 or 5 when I went to bed, and I'm like, oh, well, easy day of packing, right? Like, you try to find the silver lining of, hey, I'll have more time to do stuff. And then I woke up to, I think it was like 13 or 15 notifications, like all kinds of stuff sold overnight. And so I ended up with 20. That may be a single day record or in that ballpark. I don't normally sell that many things in a day or that many orders. There's actually like 25 items or something, but it was 20 orders.
Yeah.
I usually don't get quite that many in a day. That's a big day. I usually end up, 12-ish, if it's a good day.
And you just do
Maybe.
eBay, right? Or do you do other things as well? Or
Yeah,
just
I
eBay?
mean, every once in a while I throw something on Mercari or, but yeah, basically eBay.
Yeah. I think my max was like 62 in a day. That was
Wow.
that sounds amazing, but think about packing 62 things.
Yep.
So like in July, I made like a goal for myself in July to list 50 things every single day just to prove summer slowdown is a myth. So if you like work your butt off, you're gonna do it. So my July was popping. And then I was like, but I like I said before, I was so miserable that month because
Right.
I was working nonstop. I was trying to have this mental goal that I had to hit for some reason. Like I don't know why I was doing that. And on top of that, I was selling like 30 things every single day, which that takes a lot of time. And on top of that, I had to put out 3 videos a week. So I was like, I was
Yeah.
legit. I was so burned out that month. And it was my best month ever as a reseller. Like if you look at financially, it was great. But
But if you can't enjoy it.
for like my mental health sake, it wasn't fun. So
yeah. So did you find? Did you prove your theory that the summer slowdown is not real?
Yeah. If you list like crazy, it's
Well, yeah,
I
but that's I,
I
I
had
think it's a caveat, right? Like it's
yeah.
real. You have to put in extra work to beat
Yeah,
it.
to maintain it, but like,
Yeah.
I also think it's a lot of it is also mental for like us is like when we get sales, we have the like we want to list more. Like, oh, things are selling, I want to list, you know. And
Yeah.
when things are just like slow, you're like, oh well, why am I going to list more if things aren't really selling? So, but like if you get past that mental like, oh, things aren't selling, that's bad. But if you continue to list, I think it's going to be good. But like I say, I don't know what I proved, but I had my best month ever financially. So I guess if you list a lot, you're still gonna sell. uh, your neighbors are here, Nikki and Gary from
Nikki
Idaho.
and Gary are some like it's probably Nikki that's there writing, like one of the kindest, sweetest people ever. Like Nikki, I hope you're doing well. She was had some surgery and some medical stuff. She was working on rehab, and so hope you're doing well. But they're like incredibly, incredibly fantastic people. They live right near the Hoogs, actually.
I feel like probably 95%, if not more, people in our community are incredible. I'm always amazed about the people that are here. Yeah. What's up, Ben? How are you doing? What's up, Jan? With eBay increasing the number of pictures allowed, will you put more pictures if needed? I don't think I hit the max. What is the max now? 12 or whatever?
12.
Like, yeah, I think I
said
do
in
like
today's
5.
video. I put in today's video so it's on the internet that if I ever put 24 pictures with a single listing, the first person to email me and call me on it, I'll send them $50. I mean, there's not a chance.
Like 24 pictures. That's a like, what do you need 24 pictures
Not a
of?
chance. I did have somebody comment on the video and say, well, maybe it would be good if you were listing a lot, which makes sense. You could take more pictures of individual things in the lot. That would be, but I told them, like, I would use the video feature is what I would use for that. But
Yeah.
I very rarely use 12 as it is, unless it's something that is higher end that has multiple flaws that I want to make sure they see. Like, here's all the little spots and all the little. That's usually the only time that I butt up against the 12.
Yeah.
I bet if we looked at all my listed, like I have 1,800 listings, 1,700 listings. If we looked at all of them, my average would be 6 pictures, maybe
5 or 6.
Yeah,
That's usually mine, 5 or 6. I don't think I've seen somebody before that I unsubbed from, who said that you have to have 12 for eBay to move it up in the algo or whatever, and I'm like, what? Like, imagine listing a new sealed DVD,
right.
taking 12 pictures.
Like, it's 2.
Just like of every little corner. I was like, nah, that's definitely not happening. What's up, Sal? How you doing? What's up, Ping?
Waste of time.
We got Janine here. Gave me $1 super sticker.
There you go.
Thank you, Janine. Appreciate that. I gotta play the super chat song, Troy.
Super chat, super chat, super chat. Super chat, super chat, super chat. Super chat, super chat, super chat. Super chat, super chat, super chat.
Oh. What's up, shiny squirrel? How are you doing, Cheryl?
She's
eBay.
purchased some ducks, Paul. I don't know why you haven't. Cheryl has.
Buying a duck, okay? As soon as this show's over, I'm buying a duck.
Here's the thing, though. You can't buy just one. How can you get your ducks in a row with one?
Oh,
it's
man.
not a row.
You're killing me, man.
I mean, I'm just saying.
How many ducks would be in a row then?
I mean, you would need at least 2 to make a row, I would think.
I feel like 3 is gonna be row.
3 is probably preferable.
Like 2, a row of 2 isn't really that good either.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like I need at least 3. I'm gonna spend all my money on ducks now. I hope you're happy. Avid watcher, both of you from Canada. Thank you for the information and time. Look, we got a second Canada person here.
Nice.
Thank you for being here. Do you look at your like statistics and see how many people you have watching from other?
Yeah,
places?
I was
wondering
randomly
if you
looking.
have a lot
Actually,
more Canadian viewers than me.
I was looking at it the other night, and it was actually kind of interesting. Super, like, just digging into it, looking at, like, I can't remember. There were some really random countries that were on my list. Apparently, number 2 on my list is Canada. almost 4%. Then the UK, Australia, and the Philippines.
Yeah, Philippines was top for me too. I had a weird one in my top five. I forgot what it was, but like Canada wasn't in my top five. I was
Really?
surprised. It was like U.S., UK, Australia, Philippines, and then there was like a fifth one that was like weird. I forgot what it was. I have to actually go and look.
On the desktop, I think you can find more because I found some that were down
Yeah.
in like 10 or 12 or something that were kind of interesting, like Indonesia and stuff.
That might have been number five for me. That might have been the
Yeah.
one. I was like Indonesia. That's interesting. But I do have comments quite a bit, like hello from Germany, hello from France, hello from
Yeah.
like all these other like in the comments. So it's kind of crazy. And like I had somebody comment the other day from Netherlands that watches me, and she's like, I'm so jealous because we don't have yard sales here. I'm like, how the heck did you find a garage sale channel when you don't have any garage sales in your country? It's
Well,
like
they don't
so
really in the
crazy to
UK
me.
either. They have boot sales, is what they
Yep.
call them. Like they sell stuff out of their trunks of their car. They don't really have those either. I've got a guy in Germany that said they don't really have. He shows up to a lot of my premieres. He owns a bar there, which is pretty cool. And so he watches when things are slow at the bar, which is just crazy to think about. Like,
Did
some
you
dude
have
in
me on the
Germany
big
is watching my
screen?
premiere because there's nobody in his bar. It's so weird.
Imagine someone coming like, "Yo, put that bloke Troy on." We want Troy back on.
What are you doing?
Shelly's coming for the $50, by the way. So you
Never.
are two of the kindest
Gonna
yard sale
never-
shoppers out there. You make me proud. Well, thank
It'll
you.
never happen.
Appreciate that. So Troy, I guess you don't lowball people at yard sales. That's what Nikki and Gary are saying.
I mean, I get people that tell me I do, but
So I used to have that in the past, and so now I just pretty much just say yes or no to prices. But now I get people saying, "Why don't you offer them more?"
what did you give
That's
them?
what people are complaining
Yeah.
now about now, and I'm like, "That's not my job. I can't go that far. I can't be like,
No.
you want five? This is worth at least 20 years. 20. I can't do that."
No.
What's up, Travis? How you doing?
Pardon me.
It takes two to make a row. Okay, there
There
we
you
go.
go.
There we go.
Pal.
Buy a duck. Buy $100 in ducks, Shelly. How much money do you think I have? Plus one duck will be lonely. Yes, that's what I'm saying. You can't just have one duck. Two is a pair, three is a row. Okay.
There you go. And Jennifer would know.
Yeah. Sasha needs a duck. I
I
would
have
like.
a Dalmatian duck. I don't think I have. Yeah, I don't have a Sasha duck. I have a Dalmatian duck.
My husband started bringing me home ducks now. I thought Troy was going to get jealous. It's ducts. Track must be running. Do VPN screw with your metrics? I have no clue. I have no clue how that works with VPNs and stuff.
I wouldn't think so because it's looking at your specific channel.
Yeah.
So I don't think it cares what the address is.
Trying to figure that out right now, how to get there. The weirder the duck, the more power it contains to help you if you Q4.
There
Now,
you go.
is there a money back guarantee if the duck doesn't work?
Well, I mean, the ducks are just to get you in a row and make sure you're organized. You know, I mean, it's the Eneman's job to move stuff out. That's not the duck.
That is the NC Piggy's job to not what's it called? Not judge you, right?
So, like, you want a weird one? I listed this guy the other day. Look at that. He's like a lizard.
Yeah, it's a lizard duck. That's a weird duck.
Super cool.
It would be under audience, right?
got
And then
All kinds of cool ducks. Yeah. I know on the
yeah,
on
it's
the-
Indonesia's 5. So it's U.S., United Kingdom, Australia, Philippines, Indonesia, Canada, and then Canada and Netherlands are pretty much tied with the percentage. And Germany, New Zealand, Mexico. That's my top 10.
audience. Yeah, you only get 5 on the.
On the app. Yeah, on the browser you can go up to wherever. I go down to Estonia as my bottom. Had 10 views in the last 28 days from Estonia.
See more.
Shout out to the 10 of you who are watching, or the one of you who watched 10 times in Estonia.
See.
Appreciate you.
Finishing my list, we got Philippines, Indonesia, Germany, Netherlands, France, and India. India is my final.
Wow. Yeah, India's a little below. Oh, they count Puerto Rico
I mean,
as
to be
separate.
fair, it was 12 views in India. It's not like it's real high, but
Yeah, I look at I had some crazy countries out here. Got Kuwait with 11 views. Shout out to the 11 view watching Kuwait. I got Cyprus with 10. Bolivia with 10. Chile with 10. I need to reach out to more of the Hispanic market out there.
All right, who's buying ducks?
I bought ducks. I told you I was buying
Oh,
ducks.
you just bought ducks? Look at
You
that.
better combine that shipping. It's
I
$15
will.
shipping
I'll
just
refund
paid.
you the shipping.
I picked the top 3 I saw, so I don't know if they're any weird or not. But I got a green one, I got a blue one, and I got some star one.
Yeah, well, you got 2 with mohawks. I mean, I think that's cool.
I feel like you can't just buy one mohawk duck. You have to have at least 2 mohawk ducks together.
Right, because then a single mohawk duck would feel like the weirdo.
Yeah. So I couldn't do that.
Man,
You
we
better
should-
have all those available. better know where they are. Don't be sending me a message saying, sorry, I can't find them.
I got 2 of them are right here. They were brand new listed. I can show
Yeah,
you.
I just like they were on top of the. I just typed in duck and it was the first thing to that I saw.
I mean, these 2 guys I just
Yeah,
listed.
look at those, yo. Those ducks are sick,
Oh,
man.
Look at that.
They're coming to
Mohawk.
me. You guys can't have those ducks. They're my ducks.
They're all gone. They were 101.
What's up, Teresa? Teresa says, I love men with beards. Well, you love one of us right now. What's going on, Rhonda? How are you doing? Welcome in. What's up, Coco and Chewy? How are you doing? Why do I want to start a business making custom ducks now? That's a good question. Who wouldn't want a lizard duck?
Right? That fits with Jen's channel completely.
Yeah. I think Kristen and I should do a squirrel squad plushie, and our motto should be squirrels because they're cuter than animate. I mean, you're not wrong. Joe Deal says you need 2 to make a row. That's why I bought 3.
There you go.
If it breaks down by country, you can get it back to my. I didn't even know. Can you do that?
I haven't seen that, but I guess I haven't. The analytics are kind of crazy if you really dig into them. All the stuff you can get.
You
So
can.
Does it show up in there?
You click on United States, and then it shows you by states.
Ah.
Number 1 for me is California, which I guess makes sense since it's the biggest
California, Texas, Florida.
state. California, Texas, Pennsylvania.
Oh,
Which,
okay.
Philly Flipper,
I was
Pennsylvania.
just guessing. I mean,
Florida's
three-
4, Ohio's 5. Last one for me is Vermont, believe it or not. Vermont, Alaska, and Wyoming are the bottom 3.
Well, because there's, I think, 500,000 people in all of Wyoming. So
I feel like you might have more Montana viewers than me. I'm not sure.
let's see. I got California, Texas, Florida. So I nailed them. Pennsylvania's in my top 10. California,
Montana-
Texas, Florida, Ohio, Illinois, New York, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina.
Montana's on your top 10?
Well, there's not that many people here, man.
You would think the whole state's watching you, man.
I've got some people local that watch. There we go. I've got 196 views in Montana.
Okay, yeah, I only have 46, so
They're
You're
a bit down the
crushing me.
list.
You're crushing me in Montana.
Bottom is Utah. Nobody watches me in Utah.
Utah's like middle of the pack for me. I have almost 400 views on Utah.
I got nothing. I got 11.
Nobody,
Like
no one likes me
New,
in Utah.
New Hampshire and Utah are tied with 11. They hate me.
Yeah, New Hampshire's up there too. I have 240 in New Hampshire and only 10 in Vermont.
Nothing.
So I guess they hate me in Vermont. They like me in New Hampshire.
You can break it down by cities, Paul.
Really? If you
Yeah.
how?
Apparently, my top city is Chicago.
Oh yeah, you can do that too. Wow, yo, I did not know you could dive like that's crazy.
Yeah. Chicago, LA, New York, Dallas, Seattle, Houston, San Antonio. I mean, it's just big cities, which makes sense. But
Jakarta's number 1 for me.
Philadelphia is up there on my list. So, they're hanging out.
Jakarta's number 1 for me. I'm kidding now. Jakarta's at the bottom. The Dublin's at the bottom. Dublin's number last with 26. It's man, it's crazy once you like break all that stuff down.
Apparently, I have 0% in Orlando.
people hate you down there.
Nobody likes me in Orlando.
And definitely need to reach out to the Hispanic community, man. The reselling venture, but they're very representation of the man reselling community. Try to help fix that. Yeah, and that's actually we're talking with last week with Art from Vegas because he speaks fluid Spanish, and he was thinking about just making videos in Spanish. And I was like, do it.
That'd be cool.
I feel like that would hit. So like that would definitely hit. Can you see genders? Yes, you can see genders. You can see everything. You can
Oh yeah,
see
you can.
age. You can see gender. All the stuff is there.
I
Like,
skew pretty heavily male. Like it was about 50-50, but right now it's 62% male.
Yeah, I'm about 60-40. What's up, Kristen? Connecticut here. What's up, Angela? New York representation over here. Look, everyone's still where they are. Wonder how many ladies to me watch. You can just click on your YouTube Studio Analytics audience, and then it'll be all there.
Mm-hmm.
There are more people on my block here in New York than there's. It's funny because it's true.
But I like that. And it's funny, like because I get people commenting on my videos all the time. Like almost every garage sale video, there'll be several people that'll comment about the scenery, or asking me to put more. Somebody sent me a shirt actually, and then said, "Hey, by the way, could you put more scenery in your videos? We really like it." And for me, I could look out my door and see mountains, and I take it for granted. Like that's just what I see when I drive into town, is I'm watching mountains when I drive into town. And I take it for granted that other people, that's not, you're in Philadelphia, you see buildings, like it's different. So I have to try to be a little bit more cognizant of doing that in videos, because it's something different that people don't see. And I just don't think about it.
I think that would definitely hit, like just some B-roll footage anytime you go to yard sales or whatever, of just the scenery. Anytime you see, how often do you see like a moose or something like that?
I see deer pretty regular.
Yeah, add some of that stuff in. I went to a yard sale in Pennsylvania last month where it was in Elk County, and we saw a couple of elk blocking the street. So I put that in. I was like, people are gonna.
Nice job for knowing that it was an elk, by the way.
Well, I was in Elk County, so I figured it wasn't. It wasn't anything else. And then the crazy part is like people like are so proud of like Elk County, and then you go to like the restaurants there and they have like elk burger, and I'm like, well, you're so proud of them. Why are you killing them?
It's good.
I had it. It was delicious.
It's really good.
Also, the place I went to was like I said, it was middle of nowhere. There was no gas stations, no cell phone service. There was 2 restaurants over the whole 100 miles. There was 2 restaurants, and this is like a huge sale. So just imagine how like packed those 2 restaurants were.
Right.
we went to one. They're like, sorry, we're out of brisket. We're out of ribs. We're out of this. I'm like, okay. It's like, we got elk. I'm like, all right, I guess we're gonna have elk for dinner. Like, hey, here's somebody from Russia. I like Alex watching me from Russia. How you doing? It's also a little late there. Teresa's watching from Vermont. You're 1 of my 10, Teresa. You're 1 in 10. Do you speak Ukrainian or Russian? Yes, I speak both Ukrainian and Russian. Troy, or maybe that was to you. Troy, do you speak Ukrainian or Russian?
I speak Montanan. That's, and I spent some time in Texas, so I speak Texan.
Can you do it by race? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I feel like that's kind of like what geography is there for. You can just kind of guess based on where they.
Yeah. I don't think that's a metric. Like, they wouldn't even ask that whenever you create your account.
That'd be like really weird. I have 2 hats in my store. Just looked. Lamb burgers are bomb. Yeah, lamb burgers are pretty good too. Alec, can you stop singing the Ukrainian anthem? That's a little weird. Indiana's here. What's up, Carter's Retro? Welcome from Indiana. Elk Slim Jims? I never had Elk Slim Jims. Also, Carter, I like your profile picture. Is that Yoshi Land? I think. What is that?
Carter's Retro Quest. They've purchased ducks from the store. See, it's a thing.
See, you can't use that against me anymore. I just purchased ducks. So you got to go.
That's fair.
You got to go somebody else. Oh, Bradford. Yeah, очень мало говорю по-русски. That's okay. He said, I speak a little bit of Russian, says Bradford. That's more than most people can speak, so there we go. I was proud of my daughter who knew the difference between a bison and a moose. Well, those are 2 crazy different things. That's like the difference between a squirrel and a whale.
You don't have to keep the whale off your bird feeder. That's the difference.
It's like bison and the moose is like completely different animals, man. Now, if it was like a bison and buffalo, I'd be impressed then. Because I don't think I could tell the difference between a bison and a buffalo. No. But What's up? I'd flip that. How you doing? So tell me about your trip.
It was good. I think
Did Kevin give you first class tickets, 5-star hotel, limo pickup everywhere, treat you like a
no,
king?
no. He drove me around on Friday, and he tamped it down a little bit. He's you'd think he'd drive like a grandpa or something.
No, he drives like a maniac.
He's
I've
like
driven
Dukes of
behind him before.
Hazzard. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's throwing gravel and
Yeah, he drifts in his minivan or whatever. He likes to do all that. Yeah.
yeah, and he misses the street and stops in the road, and since there's nobody that lives there, just backs up, and like, yeah, it was fun though going out with him and Eric OBX Picker went around on Friday, but it was exhausting. Like, I mean, I jumped ahead 2 time zones and had 2 airplanes with a big delay in the middle. I got in at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. Got to the
There's
hotel.
no direct flights from Montana to Raleigh. I'm surprised.
I went to Chicago.
Yeah. Okay. Makes
and
sense.
then over, and then so I got in at like 2 to the hotel and got up at I think 6. I met Kevin at 7, and we went to garage sales, and I had to take a
7 a.m.?
nap in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And then went to dinner at his Uncle Steve's house, did some steaks and stuff. I helped Dave try to fix his fantasy football team. It was a wreck. It was.
I didn't want to ask about that.
He had Dak Prescott as his starting quarterback. And I had to explain to him about,
you should have kept him in, man. He might get healthy soon.
Well, I had to explain to him how surgery keeps you out for a while. And he had, and I'm forgetting his name, but the running back that was shot before the season started.
Oh, for the Commanders,
yeah, that's his running back. He needed a lot of work, and so I did the best I could to fix his fantasy team, and had a nice dinner. But then it's still I'm on East Coast time, and then the Kevin's event was the next day, so it was again up super early. Brian Klaus came and got me actually, and we drove around in his Tesla. That was fun. He let his Tesla drive on the interstate, and that freaked me out a little bit. With the car driving itself.
Like he wasn't driving, the Tesla was just driving. Yeah,
the car drove itself,
crazy.
and that was fun. It was really tired. I actually got home, and then when I got back, I because it's Montana, right? I had to drive to the airport like an hour and a half away. We have an airport here, but it was like $200 to fly out of here more than to drive down the road. So
where'd you fly out of?
Out of Bozeman. It's just a bigger airport.
Okay. I never heard of that either.
And so it's and so I got home, and then I had to drive home. I went to bed. I got home at like 5 o'clock, and I slept until like the next day. I was so tired.
It's
but it was
adult.
worth it. I mean, it was
very adult of you. That's it.
Yeah, I met a lot of people.
I'm just surprised that Kevin didn't send a private jet for you. Like you would think he would like treat his guests with more respect.
Yeah, I think his helicopter was in use. I'm not sure. He says he's installing a shed back there. I think he's using that as a, he's putting in a helipad. I think is what he's doing.
Makes sense. Yeah. Okay, so Cheryl's daughter was born in Cali, raised in Vegas. Okay, I'm a little more impressed that she knows the difference now. That's good. My sister was born in Ukraine and grew up in here, and I think when she was 8 years old, she learned that like cabbage doesn't grow in the grocery store. Like she was 8 when she found that out. She's like, wait, it doesn't grow there because when we were 8, my parents moved to like a 5-acre property and they started growing gardens and stuff, and she was helping them out. She's like, this is where cabbage comes from, like the ground. And we're like, yeah, it doesn't come from a grocery store.
Yep.
Russian was my minor in college, but I haven't used it for 20 years. The extent of my Russian is now get toilet, which is where's the bathroom. That's kind of like for my extent of Spanish. Whenever I travel to like a Spanish-speaking country, like, donde hay baño? That's kind of all you need to know.
That reminds me of random fact that I learned in my newspaper career is I got to interview one time Pat Summerall, the announcer. He worked for a long time with John Madden.
Yep. Back in the 90s, before Al Michaels.
One of my favorite interviews, like just a really cool guy. And I found out that he had minored in Russian history in college. And he was shocked that I knew that, because I always used to dig and find like random things just to surprise who I was interviewing.
Yeah.
And he told me that he minored in it because he really liked the professor and just kept taking classes from that professor, and eventually
Oh,
got
wow.
his minor, and he said it was completely worthless. Like there's nothing he could do with it, and he was so excited when we finally had the Olympics, and then we boycotted the Olympics, and so
Yeah.
he never did get a chance to. He's like, I finally had
To
one
to
place
use
where
it.
I could use all this information, and then we boycotted, and he didn't get to use it.
Yeah, and it's not like football is not a really career where there's many people coming playing from Russia right now. So like
Right.
like he was like even after the hockey games, he probably could interview some of them, asking some Russian
Right.
questions.
Yeah.
But like
He's a cool
football,
guy.
not many like Ukrainians or Russian playing football. That's for
Nope.
sure. Yeah. That will be the roller printer helipad because Kevin's gonna get it sponsored.
Oh, 100%.
We moved to Nebraska 3 years ago, and our daughter's new school was literally in the middle of cornfields. They were a little concerned at that time. Man, going from Cali to Vegas to Nebraska, that's quite a difference. That's have you been in Montana your whole life, Troy?
I mean, I was born here in Montana. I was born in eastern Montana, which is sort of like West Dakota. I mean, it's not really. It's kind of flat, and it's like it's not really Montana until you get a little bit further west. I went to school in Texas, came back here, and then went back down to Texas. We spent about 10 years in Texas total,
Wow.
and then I went to Oregon for about 3 years, and then back to Montana.
And stay in Montana for a while.
So yeah. I mean, I could see. Yeah, I love Montana. I could actually see like retiring in Texas or something.
But then you won't be Mountain Man
right?
Treasure
Like,
anymore,
in
man.
Texas, 'cause they got garage sale. I have a garage sale season here. I'd love to live in a place where they take 2 months off because it's too hot, and then they get back to it.
We're in Texas.
I was in Abilene, which is about 2.5 hours west of Dallas Fort Worth, and
That way.
I think it was 5 hours south of Amarillo. So it's almost smack in the middle of Texas.
Interesting. What'd you do there? Just like for work?
That's where I worked. I worked at the newspaper there.
Ah, okay. A lot of football to cover in Texas.
So Friday Night Lights. That's what I.
Yeah,
that's what I
as I
did.
said, it's like a lot of football in Texas. They take football seriously down there.
It's a lot. Like when I moved to Oregon, I was like, oh, this is nice because it was a small town football again. Like it was a lot for high school football there, and it's
They
Friday
take
Night
it
Lights
that
is no
seriously.
joke. Like, that's how it is. It's no joke there. Like it's like big time college football down there.
Really,
It's crazy. I mean, I was going to games with like 5,000-10,000 people
for a high school game.
for a high school game. Yeah. And then
Wow.
you get the playoff. In the playoffs, they play it like once you get deep enough into the playoffs, they're playing. I covered a lot of high school playoff games at Texas Stadium. Like, I mean, they play in, they're in the Dallas Cowboys locker room.
Yeah,
when they're
well, like
changing.
I know sometimes like you could watch ESPN on Friday, and like they'll be showing like high school games,
Yeah.
like Texas high school games on ESPN. So I know they take it seriously down there for sure.
It's a huge deal, and it's cool in some ways, but in some ways it's like, man, it would be nice if they could just be kids. Like,
Yeah.
I got burned out on it a little bit, but it was fun. I mean, it was an environment that you don't know until you walk into it.
Yeah, but I'm
And-
sure. But like you said, that they have a lot of pressure on them to perform, and then
Yeah.
go to college and perform again. So yeah, like that, it's different for sure.
Yeah, it's a completely different culture.
How's the food at those games?
Oh, it's great. It depends on where you go. I remember there's one place in the Dallas Fort Worth area that they had a Chick-fil-A like up in the press box, which was incredible. Like they had the little
Sounds
sliding
pretty good.
things with like the warmers and everything, and like
Oh wow, okay.
it depends on where you went, but you'd get barbecue or you'd get like, I mean, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Texas Stadium I actually got locked in Texas Stadium once. That was that was a fun night. You haven't been. It's like that's like an initiation as a sports writer.
What do you mean locked in? Like you just like
Like
got lost?
they left, like because after the game, like you go down and you interview all the players, the coaches, all that, and then you got to go back up to the press box and you write your story and you send it in. You're doing it right there, and you're doing it like it's midnight before you finish. Sometimes, I mean, depending on your deadline, but it's 11:30, 12 o'clock. At some point, sometimes the janitor's like, "All right, I'm going home," and so yeah, I've been locked in multiple stadiums.
So
Like-
you have to just like sleep in there and wait till somebody gets here in the morning.
You basically find a fence or like an emergency door. I had to climb a fence to get out of Texas Stadium. But
Oh my
you
goodness.
have it. That's like an initiation as a young sports writer.
That's
Once
crazy.
you've been locked in a stadium after hours, then you've made it.
That's on the bingo card. That's
Yeah,
one of the things you got to hit off.
yeah.
That's
I,
crazy.
I loved it, but it was a lot of work and it was a lot of travel and it was
Did
tough.
you ever have a walking taco, or is that a Texas thing?
Yeah, well, they call them. Yeah, that's a big. They call them Frito pie down there.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of the same thing, right? Just taco
Same
and then
idea.
a chip bag. Yeah.
Yeah,
I had it the first time, and I was like, "Whoa, this is revolutionary."
yeah. It's always Fritos though. In Texas, it's always Fritos.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. It says, Shh, I'm hungry. Sorry. We'll stop talking about food for a second. What's up, Laurie? How are you doing? And then Nick and Gary wants to know, where in Oregon?
I was in a little town called McMinnville. It's about a half-hour south of Portland. So beautiful little. It's in the Willamette Valley. They make like world famous wine. Every year they have a big thing where people literally fly in all over the world to go to like this wine festival because it's one of the top wine producing vineyards areas in the world. And so they have a lot of people come in every year for wine. It's actually the site also of one of the most famous UFO photos ever. So there's that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You would think that would be like in Nevada or something, or New Mexico.
Yeah, it was like in Time Magazine or something. They have like a UFO festival every year that's like it's hilarious. It's fun to go watch it. It's a cool little. It was a cool little town, far enough from Portland where you didn't get all the traffic and all that, but you could get to Portland pretty quick. You could get to the beach in an hour.
I would say probably way different from Texas, right? It's like completely like night and day difference between that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think that's the beauty about this country too. Is like every state you go to is it's like a different experience. Not many countries have that. So,
yeah, and it was beautiful. Like I really liked McMinnville. It was very nice.
What's up, Charlene? Better late than never. I agree. What's up, Matt? How you doing? Walking talk like what they call hookers here. Okay, good to know. Nick and Gary was raised by Coos Bay.
Yeah,
And Gary was in
I know
Tigard. And then Rob lives in Medford.
Medford's awesome. Medford's one of the coolest cities in Oregon. I mean, it might be the coolest city in Oregon, actually. Maybe in the Pacific Northwest. I really like.
Wow, that
I
good.
love Medford. I love Medford. I've been there multiple times. I like Eugene maybe the most as far as like the sports part of it because I covered like a lot. I covered. They tore it down now, but Hayward Field is like a historic location for sports stuff. Like a lot of the Prefontaine and all that. So covering it's sort of the mecca of running events is at that stadium. So I got to cover a lot of events there before they tore it down, and that was cool. But yeah, Medford is super cool.
When you come on Texas ball, Juanita is gonna be. I'm not traveling anywhere until I move. That's for sure.
Come on.
But I've been to Texas once, and it was great. I actually went there a month after the Eagles won Super Bowl, right? So I went there March of 2018, and I went to Dallas of all cities. Went downtown Dallas with a huge Eagles Super Bowl jersey. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna be one of those guys. And then, surprising to me, I was like, we're so happy for you. We were cheering for you. We don't want Tom Brady to get another one. We're just so happy you won. I was like, if you came to Philly in a Dallas jersey,
I know. See?
after they won, you would get jumped or whatever. It would be no like, we're so happy you won. It's completely different.
I mean, your city threw batteries at Santa, man. Like
that Santa was drunk in our defense. Okay, so
that's what everybody said. He was drunk. He was still Santa.
it's not the real Santa, Troy. It was a Santa impersonator. Okay. Janine says he coming to my yard sale in Haddon Heights tomorrow. Before you head, okay, let me take a picture so I don't forget. We'll add it to a list. I don't know if you still on the map, Janine. There's a lot of yard sales
How are you
tomorrow.
find that on the map? How do you find any one place on that map, man?
Haddon Heights, man. Just go Haddon Heights. Message me on Instagram your address, Janine. We'll definitely hit it. Who are the young guys that you covered that became NFL pros?
I'm trying to think who's still there because it's been some time ago. Actually, I covered Matt Stafford's last high school game.
Matthew Stafford.
I covered his second to last high school game because I covered him in the state semifinals before he went on and won the the championship the next game, and that was his senior year.
Was he
Oh.
Texas or Oregon? I feel like he's a
he was
Texas
in
guy.
Texas.
Yeah.
Was it Highland Park? Is where he was? I can't remember. But
He went to Georgia, right? For college,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
yeah, and I covered like Colt McCoy, who's bounced around as a backup a lot.
Yeah.
One of the like just really good kids.
Yeah.
Like
I thought he'd be a lot better because he played in Texas for college. Right? He was a Texas Longhorn. I thought he would be way more impressive in NFL too. He looked like he had a good head on his shoulders.
Case Keenum actually is a friend of the family. His whole
Really?
family. His parents were the first people in the delivery room or the waiting room when my daughter was born. They used to
Wow.
His sisters used to babysit my daughter when she was little, and we're on the Christmas card list. So I get Christmas cards from Case and stuff. He's still in the league, moving around, and
Can you give him a personal thank you from me for choking against us in the playoffs?
Yeah,
when we won the
I'll
Super
do
Bowl when he was a Viking.
He was such a good kid. He was a smart kid. His dad was a coach, so you could tell like he was one of those coaches kids that just grew up watching film and just understood football.
Yeah,
And
I feel like most quarterbacks have to do that.
Yeah.
Unless you're like Jamarcus Russell. Did you hear the story about Russell, by the way, when they sent him a blank tape because they were convinced he wasn't watching film?
Watch it.
Yeah, they sent him a blank DVD, and he was like, "Yeah, I watched it. It was a good idea for the game for that thing." And then he had to bribe like his like teammates. He said, "I'm only watching if you guys bring me Wendy's cheeseburgers." I saw the documentary. And I'm like, man, that guy was something else, man.
Yeah.
When are either of you coming to Medford? I'll cook. Oh, Troy, I feel like you gotta do an Uncle Rob's garage sale in Medford.
There you go. My daughter she's wanted for a long time for us to go back and visit Oregon. So
Texas hospitality, that's true, but I don't know if it's like real though. I feel like when they say, "Oh, bless your heart" and stuff down there, it's like a backhanded compliment. What's up, Nancy? 2 of my favorite eBay sellers on YouTube. That's me and you, Troy. That's me and you equals 2.
she might be talking about people in the chat. I'm not sure.
That also could be true. Yeah.
Yeah, Kayla, and I'm not sure. Yeah.
Case Keenum was awesome that one year as a Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, that's the year I'm talking about. He played us. We played him. He was the one that did Minneapolis Miracle to Stephon Diggs when they beat the Saints. That was Case Keenum. Then they got destroyed by us the next week. So yeah, big fan of Case Keenum. He's A-OK in my book.
Yeah, but he's got to be one of the top backup quarterbacks in the league.
Man,
you know,
well, after that Minnesota stint, I think he got like a head. Like I think he signed like a pretty big contract. I don't know if he was like the starter or not, but I'm sure if you count his money, he's made a decent amount. Being a backup.
Backup quarterback's not a bad gig. You get paid how much to stand there and hold a clipboard?
Yeah, that's
yes, sir.
But then you see why you need him. Like last week when San Francisco when Trey Lance went down.
Yeah.
It's a good thing they had a good backup because once you don't have that, it's crazy.
Then you're the Cowboys with Cooper Rush. That's exactly what happened.
Still won.
He shouldn't have won. They've got a good defense, and so that's going to keep them in some games. But he's not going to. Carson Wentz is going to get terrorized by Micah Parsons, though. Like that kid is ridiculous. But
Micah Parsons is the truth, man. I gotta give you your defense is stacked.
That Micah Parsons is just outrageous.
And since I'm talking about you two, I have watched many of Mountain Man videos, and I have lurked in Paul's lives for amount too. And Nancy lives pretty close to me, so I know who Nancy is.
I usually lurk in Paul's lives too. Just I don't want him to know that I'm here.
Oh man, I gotta make sure I don't say anything bad about Troy now. I gotta put that in my mental head. Troy might be lurking. Canadian hospitality. Take you out back, shoot a deer, skin it, drain it, make burgers, grab a beer and shoot the... Okay. That sounds like a good time. Not gonna lie. That sounds like a good time. Remember one time Brady was just Bledsoe's backup. Yeah, that was a crazy season. There's a lot of like what ifs. Like if Bledsoe never got hurt, like would Brady be who Brady is now? That's a lot of what ifs that happen in football. What's up, Heidi? I'm glad you're here. What's up, Amanda? I was watching Pinocchio with the kids. You chose Pinocchio over me and Troy? That audacity.
Is it the new one?
With what is the guy? What's the Italian guy in Pinocchio? Giuseppe? Not Giuseppe.
Geppetto.
Geppetto, that one.
Yeah.
That one. Geppetto.
You know what I watched the other day because we saw that, and I'm rubbing my eyes. We saw, hey, Pinocchio's on. We still haven't watched that, but I remembered as a kid, my grandpa was the guy that he would always like pirate all the tapes from the video store, and he had two VCRs like stacked and hooked up so that you could play on one and record on the other one, and then they started putting in like a scrambler, like on the thing they would scramble the signal.
Oh wow! So you couldn't do that?
They were trying to stop Grandpa, like people like my grandpa. He bought I don't know where he got it, but he bought like a de-scrambler that you could put in the mold. So you went to Grandpa's house and it was like going to a Blockbuster video. He could fit like 3 movies on a tape, and he had all of these tapes on his wall. And I don't know where he found it, but it was Pinocchio in Outer Space. It's the most random. It's on YouTube. You can find the full. I wonder, and I got on, and it was
that's definitely not a Disney movie, right? That can't be a Disney
on any
movie.
of the streaming stuff.
Yeah.
And so I looked on YouTube. It's like an hour and change long, and I remembered watching that as a kid over at their house, and for whatever reason, I liked that movie, and I remember watching it over and over. I got on YouTube like last
from
week.
1965.
Yeah, I watched the whole stinking thing on YouTube. It was incredible. I was like,
yeah,
it's one of those things where I was like, and that's why people buy our stuff on eBay, right? Like they remember, like I watched that when I was a kid.
The nostalgia of it, yeah, for sure.
I sat there like a little kid and watched this stupid movie for an hour, and I was like, this is awesome. It was the best movie.
And
now I've gotten on eBay, and I'm looking at like lobby cards and like posters of Pinocchio in outer space. Like they actually exist.
What about like plush? Do you can sell the plush from that movie?
I wonder. It's got the whale is in outer space, right? They still have a whale, but he's a space whale.
Oh, he's a space whale now. Interesting.
Yeah. You need to check it out. I want to hear from somebody that they watched Pinocchio in outer space.
Dobry noche. Have a good night too, Bradford. I wonder how much those scramblers go for on eBay these days.
Right.
That's one of those. That's crazy. Because I used to be like back in the day, I would like have a TV with a built-in VCR thing in it, and I would record the movies from the TV that I would watch.
Yeah.
Or like we would go to church a lot on Sundays, and I want to listen to the game, so I would just like hit record. And by the time I came home, I already missed half the game, but it's recorded, so like I get to see it. And then you can fast forward the commercials. It was like amazing.
Before TiVo, it's the pre-TiVo.
Yeah, it's like. Or like I would do it like on the radio with a tape, like for like music that's playing, and just record it on the tape with the boombox. The things we had to do, Troy, that the kids these days don't have to worry about.
No idea.
Troy, have you checked if Dave has every DVD? Girl, Dave, you might have that plush.
I can watch it on YouTube. It's good.
Yeah, man. What's your link to your StreamYard? I don't know what that means.
I don't know either.
I have never heard of Pinocchio in Outer Space, but I'll be watching it now. There we go. It's only an hour long, so it's a quick watch.
Yeah, you can, and it's fun. Like it's actually like, it's fun.
Flintstone meets the Jetsons. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, I suppose so. Like it's kind of cheesy, but if you have that childhood memory,
yeah. The Brave Little Toaster was the best. I've heard about the.
I know the Brave Little Toaster.
Yeah.
I used to work actually at a video store for a while in Oregon, and we rented that quite a bit.
So eBay says, Lori did the research. 3D scramblers listed, none sold. So not a good sell-through rate for the scramblers.
I mean, do you really need them anymore?
Not that much of a necessity right now, right? Not many VCR stores around. They're putting the scramblers in their movies. See, I was born in 1965. Now, my youngest is playing Super Mario World with his dad on the SNES. We are old school in the house. Yo. Man, the SNES is great. I'm still making popcorn and finding. There we go.
It's out there. I watched the, there's one that says, like, what was it? Like, they've remastered it or something. I don't remember what they called it. But there's one where it's an actual full version. Let's see. Pinocchio in Outer Space. Fan restored is what it says. Oh. It's got 6,000 views.
Is the whole movie too? Just like
yeah,
HD?
It's the whole movie.
Interesting. Yeah, Tony, I'm not gonna search Billboard Latin Music Awards. I don't know what that's all about. All right, so Junk Monkey fan is gonna watch. Like, look, everybody's gonna be watching now. Whoever this guy has this movie up is gonna get so many views. It's gonna have a spike.
I don't remember. I don't think there was any commercials ahead of it, so I don't think it even is like.
It's monetized.
Let me see. Let me play it and see. Nope, it just goes right into it.
The whole thing has 244 views. The whole movie. You're about to bring it to 1,000 overnight. The people in the chat.
6,049 views since October 27th of 2021. So it hasn't actually been up there that long.
Yeah. So the one I see is Pinocchio has 224 views.
Well,
so,
that's not the fan restored one.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm watching the original one.
He said he used some tools to clean it up as best he could. It was actually a pretty like it looked okay.
Let's give the good one. Pinocchio, Outer Space, fan restored.
Yep.
I'll drop a link for you guys.
An hour and 4 minutes. It's going to be the
6K
best hour
views
and
10
4
months
minutes.
ago. That one, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm dropping the link. Make sure you guys go comment and say that Troy and Paul sent me here. Just had the guy had the guy be confused about who the hell Troy and Paul are.
It's only got 27 comments. People aren't really commenting all that much.
Or just say Philly Flipper Live and Mountain Man Treasure sent me here.
That's funny.
And see this guy with 20 subscribers just being like, what the heck is going on? Oh, man.
It's legendary.
Here we go. I see. Yeah, guys, click the link and make sure you guys are watching. Now I'm going to watch it, man. I'm like fast forwarding a little bit and it looks pretty entertaining. I'm not going to lie.
It's not bad. Like, it's good animated sci-fi.
That spaceship looks like fun. That turtle or a parrot? I don't even know.
Yeah, he's a turtle. Except I don't remember what they're called. He's not called a turtle. He's called a.
I see the whale now at the very end.
Yeah, the space whale.
The space whale's there. This is that space whale be moving. That thing's flying fast. That speed of light, space whale. Yeah. I did it. There we go. Thank you. Troy, what's the plan for your channel? Are you gonna stick to 7 videos a week?
I'm doing usually like 5, I think, right around there. Like I always take Sundays off, or 90% of the time. I want to have that. You got to have that day where you're not doing anything. Like you got to give your brain a break.
Yes.
So I'd like to put that out just because I don't have a lot of subscribers right now. And you're only going to get subscribers if you keep putting out content, and you got to feed that beast just like on eBay. But you gotta have time for yourself. So. I usually take one day during the week off, and it just depends on, this week it wound up being Wednesday. I was just too busy. I couldn't do it. So I didn't force it, but I try to do, if I can get 5 a week, I'm real happy. And so we'll see. I'm actually,
do you think like YouTube punishes you now if you don't do it? Like is YouTube like, oh,
I don't think so. Because I get the same amount of views roughly.
Yeah.
But I think I'm actually going to start a little site. It's weird because then I feel like Dave. Like I don't want to feel like I'm copying Dave, right? Like
you definitely don't want to be in that stage of life where you're copying Dave.
And it makes me feel like now Dave's going to be like, you copy. I don't want Dave to ever think that I had to copy him on anything. But I've actually been thinking about it for a while of starting a little side channel. So I might start doing that here in the winter.
What is this? What's going to be on the side channel?
Well, I started, and it's something.
Copying Dave.
What was that?
Copying Dave.
It's something that I started about 5 years ago at the radio station when I first started.
Don't make a cooking channel.
I wanted to do something that was like I had just started the radio station, so I'm like, I want to make them think like, hey, this guy knows what he's doing, and you got to impress the new boss. And I always used to like the old radio dramas, like the radio plays and stuff. I thought they were kind of cool. And so I started in the fall, and I asked him, I'm like, hey, what if I go, all these people are doing like these ghost investigations and stuff. What if I went and followed them around and did like an audio radio play kind of following these people? And sort of, look at what they did all during the night. And weirdly,
That sounds like fun.
it was actually a lot of fun. I thought I was just going to walk around listening to people talk to themselves, and it was going to be kind of a joke story. And
Yeah.
it turned out like I had my own audio equipment and stuff, and I can't tell you what it is, but I was recording weird whispers and sounds and noises that wasn't there. There was, because you watch it on TV and you're like, it's TV, right? Like you don't know. But here I'm like literally watching my own equipment, my own audio equipment, making stuff that I can't explain it. And so I was like, okay, well, this is kind of cool. And it turned into like a hugely popular thing. And we did it every Halloween. We did like a morning show of like the investigation thing. So I thought, you know what? I want to kind of bring that to YouTube. And so I'm going to probably do like a little, it's not like something I do all the time, but I've like once a year, usually I go and I investigate this. I haven't done it yet this year. I'm actually going to go next month to investigate an old brothel, actually, that's supposedly very, very haunted. And so I think it would be kind of cool. The last 2 years, I've actually put that video together and put it on my YouTube channel. Obviously has nothing to do with reselling, but I thought it's fun on Halloween.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, what if I just make a separate channel and I put that stuff on a separate channel? So I might do that. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And
So what I got from that whole story is that you're copying Dave, but it's okay.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you want to investigate something that's like dead, can you investigate Dave's eBay store and see why why it's dead too? Maybe there's some ghosts happening over there. I feel like something like that you have to do a different channel because that's completely different than what you are putting on right now.
Yeah, and I've done it a couple times. Like we did a little premiere on Halloween, and it was kind of fun. And people came in and watched the premiere, and it was fun, and it's a different thing. But I don't want it to like kill the channel where it's, because a lot of times when you put videos like that out, then YouTube kind of punishes your channel. It feels like,
yes, they're like what are you
like 4
doing?
or 5 videos like nobody watches, and you have to work to recover. So
well, that's why I had to stop putting auction house videos on my channel because I had a very like devoted like small core, but nobody else watched them. And then after I put up an auction house video, my next 2 yard sale videos would just be tanked. They would never be pushed out. And I was like, whoa. And Teresa, I get the do what you love part. That's understandable. But with like YouTube, you kind of also want to make money. So that's why you could have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 channels, whatever, and do what you love. Just post things on different things so they can be successful as well.
Well, and this is something that it was, because you can do like a little what sold video, and that the shelf life on that's not very long, right? Like, but something like, hey, I went to this creepy place and check out this picture. What is that? Do you know what it is? That's never going to go old. So people will watch that 10 years from now.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So that's kind of an idea behind it too, of, it's content that never gets old.
Oh, Cheryl's a paranormal geek. She loves watching Twin Paranormal and Casper's Site. I just started watching Sam and Colby. Honestly, the investigation stuff is cool. Yeah, and there's a completely different niche out there that you can definitely hit for sure.
Yeah, and I haven't delved into it on YouTube to see what the community on there, what the channels, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But it's something, and I think it's something where I could make shorts, and shorts could live there, and I don't know. We'll experiment. That's the one nice thing.
Bring your ducks with you. Paranormal hunting ducks.
There you go.
What?
I can leave ducks in different places. I've actually got a duck that I'm going to use as a little paranormal tool. So there you go. Because I've got all the stuff. I've got the cameras and the audio equipment and the.
That sounds like expensive. Is that expensive to have?
but Paul, it's a business expense.
True. Very true.
So I can deduct all of that.
Paul, have you seen Santa Claus Conquers the Martians? That sounds like something your grandpa would have on his shelf too. That would
probably. I never saw that, but I want to now.
Yeah. YouTube alcove makes I don't think anybody also knows how it works. Same thing with eBay. I saw today Courtney comment tags. She went to eBay Open in California, and she asked about the algo, and the workers there like say, hey, we work for eBay and we list on eBay ourselves, and we have no clue how the algorithm works. So it's like, you just gotta do your best, you know. Just see what's working for others and try to do it for yourself.
It's the Wizard of Oz. There's like one guy behind the curtain that knows how it works.
Yeah, it's like I'm sure and if the person that knows how it works is not gonna be sharing information with anybody. It's like I ain't giving anybody else. Okay, so you found out, subscribe. Left the message Paul and Troy sent me here. There we go. I counted and said you all sent me, but for what I don't know, just add to the confusion. I just want the guy to wake up tomorrow. It's like who the like what is happening here?
You're gonna double his comments overnight.
Yeah, you're like, what is going on? What is going on? Just show up to Dave's house with a Ouija board.
I just bought one a couple weeks ago, actually.
Really? Is there good value for those?
The older ones actually sell. There's people that collect those.
Makes sense. I could definitely see
older ones. The older ones actually can sell for really good money. There's a pink one, weirdly, and I can't remember the value, but it sells pretty high. But especially if they have the.
Was it tested and working?
Well, I didn't test it. I don't mess with those. There's that little triangular piece in there. It's called a planchette. Yeah. You can sell that by itself because a lot of times they get broken or missing.
Yeah, that's the most important piece, right? That's the one that they move to speak to you with.
You can sell just those if you find, but if you find the old ones, especially in the box, I know a lot of people won't touch them because it creeps them out. And I've sold several of them. They can actually sell for pretty good money.
Have you tried the whole haunted trick for dolls yet?
I've sold half a dozen haunted dolls.
Yeah, so like I always start them off with creepy. And when they don't sell as creepy, I type in haunted, and then they sell.
Yep.
Sometimes you get messages like, "What is her name? When does she become active? What does she do?" And I'm like, I don't know. Her name is Jerry. She goes active at 11:15 in the morning. she's a good haunted doll.
So some live comping for you, just because we want some actual value here. The pink Ouija board, it'll sell if it's this one. It had the carrying case sold for $189.99.
Wow.
$199.99, $127.50, $155, $219. So
that's some good. That's better than some plush.
Pink Ouija boards. I know it doesn't show up on there. It goes.
Interesting.
Pink Ouija boards, man.
I feel like I see new ones in Five Below all the time. You think?
Yeah, it's got to be the vintage ones or what sell. Yeah.
I was weird before reselling. Now it's cool to be weird. Yeah, I feel like you have to be weird. Jocelyn and Crazy Limplady started with metal detector and then added 13 videos and then blew up. So sometimes launches something great. Yeah, that's a good point. Troy, in Dave's recent video, he showed the pig Dougie sent. Oh, so there you go.
Yeah, I sent Dave a pig. And I sent a Commonwealth picker a Benjamin Franklin duck. So they went garage sailing with me, so I had to send them a little thank you.
Feet at a bin and brothel is evergreen. That's true. That is true. Another good seller to some sellers are afraid of tarot cards. Yeah, that's.
They sell really well.
Yeah, I remember I saw Justin, RVA Flips, do a video about it once where he bought a whole bunch of them at a yard sale, and the lady goes, "Oh, do you read?" And he goes, "I don't read. My wife likes to read books though and newspapers." She's like, "I mean the cards." He's like, "Oh."
I bought some from a lady too. I bought like. Shoot, it must have been 6 or 8 sets of them, and some of them went for like $100. Like if they're old and discontinued, just like anything else.
I heard some of those you can like part out too. Some of those cards, like just individual cards, can go for some money. So yeah. Okay. Never mess with a Ouija board if you don't know what you're doing, though.
That's why I don't mess with them. I'm not gonna screw with it.
You just buy it, take a picture, put it in the box, and then let's go.
I'm actually thinking of using it as background for my upcoming channel to put it like on a shelf or something.
Oh, okay. Get the attention.
Yeah.
Shirley goes, "I'm old and discontinued." But I have a lot of value then. Rob says he remembers the video of you buying the tarot cards.
Yeah.
How long ago was that video?
I have one set left, I think. I sold through.
Oh, wow. How much did you make on them?
I probably made, because I got them for super cheap, I bet I made about $300 off of them.
Nice. It's better than some plush.
Oh, for sure. And just as easy to ship.
Yeah. I don't mess with those boards either. Evil. That's understandable. It's It's some things you don't want to touch. That's okay. Other people are okay with messing with it.
Yeah.
That's probably why the value is so high on them, because I know people
Yeah.
really want to deal with them.
It's
So,
it's a tool like anything else, right? Like
yeah,
it can be used improperly, but you can actually draw your own Ouija board. You can draw it on a piece of paper. You know, you can draw it on a mirror. You know, so it's just how you use it. It's a tool like anything, like selling a knife, right? Like I've sold
Yeah.
plenty of knives on eBay.
that you did. That's kind of how I found out about you, was just through the knife sales. You seem to use like a knife every single day.
Yeah. Now I'm selling
like it.
Cutco knives.
I've never found one. Can you believe that? I have not found one.
I finally found my first one at an estate. I had to pay $100, but I got 12 steak knives for $100, and I'm selling them for 30. It's $31.97, and I've sold several at the price. And I'm sometimes sending offers at $30. So all I had to do is sell 4 of them, and then all the rest, 8 of them are profit. So I paid a lot, but I'm still going to make several $100s off of them. And
I've
I wanted
seen
to
one.
buy and sell a Cutco.
I've seen one a month ago. They were asking 200. I think maybe I should have bought it the way you described it now, because it was like a set of, I think it was like 16 with the block, and it was 200.
Yeah,
So
and I just
this-
part them out. Like this set that I bought would sell on its own for like $200, but if I can sell them for $32 a piece, I'm going to make half that again by parting them out. It'll take longer,
Yeah.
but they don't take up any room, so why not?
The only thing I saw before from them was blocks. I found the blocks quite a bit, just the knife blocks.
Yeah,
Which, like, I don't know why they have that much value, because you could just use almost any knife block for your knives. But hey, sure, spend more money on mine because there's Cutco on it. But yeah, not really much around here. So Junk Monkey says he likes remote controls. They get them cheap and lots of them. That makes sense. I probably find them quite a bit. Junk Monkey does really good with watches, like Rolexes and stuff like that.
oh yeah,
That's something I have zero clue about. So that's
either.
something like I can't tell the difference between like a real one and a fake one. So like I stay away.
right.
But, sweet. I love how much I connect with this community. It makes me feel at home. Wow. Appreciate you being here. I know I like you, Shelly. I don't know about Troy. Troy maybe that doesn't like you as much. I don't know,
No.
but she's okay. She's okay. You think about doing any lives on your channel anytime soon, or?
I don't know. I mean, I did them for about a year and a half, but honestly, I started to kind of get burned out a little bit, just because. But that was at the same time I was working full time as well, so it got, I did them every Monday night, and it was just, I needed it at some point. I was like, I need a break. Like I need something to go away so that I can breathe, and it was the lives, and so I haven't brought them back. I've had people say they want me to bring them back. But it's also a crowded space, like there's only so many lives that people can watch, so
Yeah.
you don't want to step on other people's toes. And, it's not like I want to go out there and do a Friday night at 9 Eastern live now, you
You can do it. I will let you.
so I don't know. I may bring
it's
it back.
definitely it's weird, but there's so many also things happening that's like almost impossible not to step on people's toes.
Right.
Like I'm sure there's somebody else right now that's live right now at the same time as I am, and
Right.
people are gonna go watch whoever they want to watch. It's just it is what it is. But I feel like for people like us, I feel like that's very important to build a community, because if you just put pre-records up, people don't really get to know who you are. But then
Yeah.
you also put your pre-records as like a premiere. And you're
Yeah, I
in the
like to
premiere,
try and do as many
and you're
premieres.
chatting there, so then you can kind of use that as like your like live community thing as well. 'Cause,
Right.
there's some bigger channels out there that I have no clue who they are as people, just because they don't show their personality on the videos. And
Yeah.
it's like
That's why I started doing those premieres. Is like, well, I could kind of fill that void a little bit. And it's cool to be able to chat with people.
yeah, and it's kind of like a you have like your own community there, right? There's probably people that come to every single premiere that you know about, right? And they're like, hey,
Yeah.
are those set times, or do you just have them throughout different?
Well, when I had a full-time job, it wound up being a set time because I had to cram it in a certain time. Now it's sort of whenever I can do it. Like it did change once I went full time, just because my whole schedule changed, So I don't do a premiere on all of them. Sometimes it's like, you know what, I'm just going to put it up, and I get it up. But if I can get it done early enough in a day and schedule it for like a couple hours out as a premiere, then I'll do that. Because I like to do 1 or 2 a week if I can, just to talk with people. Because it, like you said, it's cool to connect, and this is a community, and it's not just because you're like, well, I need to talk to people to grow the channel. Like, I truly enjoy talking with people.
That's exactly why I do this too. I enjoy it, and I just want people to know who I am too. So that's kind of the reason why. I don't want them just to be like, oh, Flyp. I want them to actually know, like, it's Paul. You know, like, oh, this is who he is, what he likes. I feel like that makes way more sense than just being some guy out there. You know.
You should probably just set up a camera at the house and have the Sasha cam. And you're at work and you're doing all your stuff. I probably
could.
You could literally stream like 8 hours while you were working and just stream the dog.
People will watch.
I say you should try it. I say
people will watch.
Live stream the Sasha cam. You'll get people in there watch. I mean, people watch it at the zoo. They watch the eagles in a nest on a pole. They're gonna watch Sasha. Guaranteed.
Especially because, like, right now she's with my parents, and during the day my niece is there too. My 1-year-old niece. So they'll be in the same room playing together. People are definitely going to watch that for sure.
There you go.
This is Paul. He likes Pokemon and meat jelly. Yes. There we go. See, Kyle does me. What's up, Marlene? It says, hi, gentlemen. Thank you for all your hard work. Your videos are educational and so funny. Example, Paul is killing your dad. Yeah, I put that in a video last week. There was somebody who met me at a yard sale. He asked me, like, legit, like, full seriousness, is Kevin your dad? It was pretty funny. I went to a church sale last weekend and found some vintage collection of Mickey Mouse watches. 50 watches are $19.3 for $1. Well, see, if that was the case, I would buy it.
Cool. Yeah.
Let's see, Jim knows while I'm bubbly. See, people know who I am. Put a GoPro on her like that cat. I watched some of those videos on YouTube where a person would, like, leave his dog at home and put a GoPro on her.
Yeah.
And those videos get like millions of views. I'm like, dang, I'm wasting an opportunity here. That's for sure. Wow, I'm bubbly. Being in, dude, is like going to the old AOL chat rooms. Oh man, did you use AIM back in the day? Were you an AIM guy?
You've got mail. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was.
I've tried to explain to my daughter what AOL and dial-up internet, and they don't get it.
Yeah, you're like, wait, you couldn't be on the phone? First of all, because nobody has house phones now. So that's not even like a thing. They're like, okay, what's the big deal?
Not even my parents have a house phone anymore. So.
Yeah. I found one of those, like, rotary ones at a yard sale before. I tried to buy it. The guy's like, no, that's my personal phone. I use that. I was like, oh, sorry. You ever make those the MSN sound? MSN sound? Nice. Talk to me real quick before I forget. How was your transition from part-time to full-time? Was it smooth? Was there something that you wish you would have done better?
Yeah, I mean, it was relatively smooth. A big part of it was trying to figure out what's my day supposed to look like now, right? Like, it has to have some sort of structure. Like, you have a list of things. Yeah. For me, I can't be like, at 8 o'clock I'm doing this, at 10 o'clock I'm doing this. Like that I can't do, but I have to at least have sort of that mental, like, okay, well, the things I have to do today are pack. I've got to list, this many things. Here's the pile that I want to list today. I've got to work on the video. Like, I have to have that checklist. And you sort of fall into a sort of a pattern. Every once in a while it switches up the order that I do it in. But it took me a while to sort of figure out, like, what the day is supposed to look like, because I'm at home. And so you have to set your own structure. And I've also noticed, like, before, everything that I made on eBay was like the extra money. It was the play money, right? Like, it's paying off the bills, or it's saving up to go to Vegas, or it's whatever. And so I could take more of a risk on things of go, well, yeah, because all I was spending and making was the extra. And so I can't do that anymore. Like, when I gamble, I'm gambling, my groceries next week.
Yeah, so sell-through becomes a lot more important when you're full-time.
Yeah, you have to have a different mindset going in. And so, like, you can't buy as many long-tail items. Before, I'm like, yeah, it's going to take 8 months before this sells. But that's fine. It'll sell.
Yeah.
Like, and I still buy some of that stuff for sure.
Same.
But you have to sort of think it through a little bit more of, you have to be a little bit more deliberate with the money you're spending and realize that you're spending your budget now. And so I can't necessarily go out on Saturdays with as much money as I used to, because I didn't have a budget before. I spent whatever I wanted to spend. Now I have to kind of keep myself on a little bit shorter leash. Like it's just changing how you approach it is what I found is not necessarily the hardest. It's not a hard thing, but it's just changing the mindset. It's changing how I go about it, and it's different. It's definitely weird going to garage sales this summer because I have to do it completely differently.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I also think there's like a whole big like false thought there, like, oh, that hey, I spent like 10 hours a week on this, I'm making this much. If I double my time, I'm going to double that money.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily true. Or
I went into it thinking like, well, I'm doing it part-time now. I could no, the math
exactly. That was my thought too. I was like that's not how it works.
I don't know how the math works, but I'm working more now than I did before. And yeah, the math is weird.
Or like I have 1,000 listings now, I'm making this much. Once I get to 2,000 listings, I'll be making double that. Again, not true. Not true either. I wish that's how it worked.
Yeah, it's like calculus.
That'd be
it
great.
Doesn't work the way like it doesn't make sense. It's not like you can't look at it and go, well, it's A and B, and that's going to be C, and it really doesn't work that way. Especially again, like us, if you've got YouTube, it completely changes the equation because now I'm putting just as much time into YouTube. And that takes away, I get questions all the time. Do you think, having a YouTube channel helps your sales?
Yes and no.
Yeah. Like, Juanita came in and bought 2 hats tonight, right? Like, yes. But with those hats.
You owe me 10% of that, by the way.
What's that?
You owe me 10% of that.
I know. I do. Yeah. I'll send it with the Ducks.
$2.68, I think that's what we agreed to.
I think I would have sold those hats eventually, right? Yes. But because Juanita's awesome and she was watching, she went in and bought them. So you are going to speed up the stuff that you sell, I think. And there are some things that might have sat forever and not sold, but a viewer thinks, that's cool, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
But all of that time we're putting in, I spent an hour today working on a video. I could have listed 10 things today. I haven't listed today at all. So ultimately, I think it probably in the long run, when you do the math, it probably hurts your eBay store for most people.
I agree. Like, especially like if you're like a smaller YouTube channel, well, like the one that doesn't have that many views, it definitely hurts because you're not getting paid for YouTube at all for like a while. Or people like also have this monetization, like, oh, once I get monetized, it's gonna be different. I was monetized for like a whole year and I was making like $1 a day, like if that. So it's definitely, I would say it definitely hurts more in the beginning. It might be a little better once your YouTube channel grows a little bigger, but I feel like for me, like the stuff that I'm selling to viewers, like you said before, was probably gonna sell eventually to somebody. It's like I'm buying like complete junk. I'm like, oh, my viewer's gonna buy this. This is not a good item, but my viewer's gonna buy it. That's not my thought process at all.
Right.
But yeah. Troy sent a duck to Paul. I bought 3 ducks today, Charlene. I'm getting 3 ducks. That's all good. But I had somebody ask me like 2 weeks ago on Instagram, like, how do I start a YouTube channel so I can get more sales? And I'm like, don't. If that is your goal to start a YouTube channel to get more sales, don't start a YouTube channel.
Well, and that's beside that's completely ignoring just the time that it takes, right? Like, if you don't have the reason I started a YouTube channel, you asked about when I started. Well, my friend Jeff, I had somebody literally 45 seconds down the road that I could go to and say, hey, I don't understand this. How can I fix this? How do I list this? What would you recommend me list this at? What price is it? A lot of people don't have that, right? And so I learned so much from him and then also from other people on YouTube. The only reason I started the YouTube channel is because I wanted to be that for somebody else. Like, I felt like this helped change where I'm at in my life. And if I can help somebody else get to that point, that would be awesome. That's the only reason I do it and the reason I started it. And I think if you start it with that idea of, I'm going to do YouTube so I can get money and so that I'm going to sell more, I want to make money off of YouTube.
You're going to quit a month in.
You're either going to quit or it's not going to work because people, you're motivated. You can't be fake. Like, you can't continue being fake on there. People are eventually going to see through it. And if you're not genuine, people don't care. Like, you have to have the right motivation. It's a little bit like with radio. I'm doing the morning show. It's freaking early, but I had to smile when I was talking because if you don't, people can hear it. You
Yeah.
can't. You have to literally smile, or people are like, "Dude, that guy sounds pissed off. Like, what, why is that guy so angry?" And
Yeah.
you're not saying anything different, and you don't feel it, but people can hear and see your motivation. And so, if it's wrong, it's not going to work.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I say. I'm like, it's you have to do it for the right motives, and I feel
Yeah.
like the people like you that do it. Hey, I just want to help some people, and I'm here because somebody helped me in the past, and maybe my video is going to help somebody in the future. If you go with that goal, you can go through months and months of not being monetized, months and months of not growing and being okay with it because somebody's still watching and getting help from it. But if you're going and your only goal is, oh, I want to make this much money and I want to make this much sales, it's not going to happen. That's how I
Yeah.
always say the whole time.
I talked to somebody this weekend. He was like, "I've been thinking about starting it. Can you?" He's the one actually. He gave me a ride to the airport on Sunday morning, and great guy, Jason, great guy. And so we talked a little bit about that, about YouTube and about starting it. And that was one of the things I told him is you have to go into it knowing you're going to be talking to yourself for a long time, and you're going to get 12 people that watch that video, and you have to be okay with it.
Yep.
Like, and you're going to look back in 6 months if you're still doing it and realize that first video was awful. But if you don't make it, you can't make the next one. You can't make the next one, and you're going to go a long time before you make any kind of money. And even when you start making money, it's not really worth the time you're putting in, right? Like, if you figure out what am I getting per hour, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So you have to have that right motivation, because until you get to that top level, that I don't know how many percentage of resellers are there. YouTube, 10%.
I think less than that.
Like
the top level, yeah, I don't, because
most reselling channels aren't making enough money to pay for the work that they're putting into it.
yeah, I think there's also plenty that we don't know about that are also like in the hundreds of subscriber count that I just never heard of.
Right.
I legit think there's it's like 5% or less that are actually like making like, I would say, full-time income. Would that be fair to say? I would say it's like 5% or less that are in that category. I don't think me and you are in that category. I don't think we're there yet.
Nope.
Yeah. So like it's tough. So you have to do it for the right reasons. I agree. Speaking of sales, Frosty just sold a pink stem Pyrex for $800. Frosty, the same rule that applies to Troy applies to you. 10% goes to me for sure. Equipment identified to work 24/7. That's exactly what reselling is.
Yep.
What's up, Tiny Bar? What's up, Infisa? Sorry, we went on a little rant there with the YouTube, so I missed the chat for quite a bit. But I feel like that was good convo. Dancy says it don't take forever to make any money from YouTube itself, and you need a ton of views and subs. That's very true. Flyp says we have been on doing our YouTube channel for 18 months and still have only 207 subscribers. Trying to figure out what we're doing to get more views subscribers with mixed in comedy with our banter. I feel like for you to grow on YouTube, you have to be either educational or entertaining, and if you can be both, it's very good. But you have to be at least one or the other. And you also gotta look at that.
Consistency is the key.
Yeah.
Like, you have to put, especially when you're starting, like, people that watch have to know, like, oh, it's Wednesday, there's going to be a new video. Like, you have to, it doesn't necessarily have to be a time, but like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that's when the videos are dropping. You have to make it part of people's, like, oh, it's Friday, that video, I'm going to look for it. You have to make it part of their routine.
Yeah, so like that's kind of mine. Is like mine was Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern. I have a video. That's my thing now. And then also consistency is good. And then you also have to. I'll flip that. I would look back at your video from a year ago. You said you've been doing it for 18 months. Look back at your video from a year ago and now and see what is different. And if nothing is different, that's a problem. You see if there's anything that you're doing better, editing or content-wise or whatever. You have to always improve. Like right now, I feel like our niche is very competitive. There are so many channels that are fighting for people's like attention and views. Like 5 years ago, probably anybody could do a channel and it's going to grow in the reselling space. Now there's just so many that you have to stand out some kind of way. So,
it's hard to get the market share for sure.
Yeah. Now I have to look up the Pyrex so I can recognize it. Yeah, I'm about to Google it now. $800 Pyrex, that's pretty dope. What was it called again?
Man, I get yelled at. Like, I'll leave Pyrex behind, and people always yell at me. I'm like, I don't know anything about it, man. Like,
And so much
and then I'll
Pyrex sells
buy
for
it,
like
and
10
I'm like,
bucks.
oh, it's gonna get me $15 when it sells in 8 months. Like,
Pink stems Pyrex.
obviously, don't know what I'm doing with Pyrex.
Okay, yeah, this one you can definitely like. You'll remember. I'll share the screen. Look at that. You will definitely remember that when you see it.
Oh, cool.
So that color sells for. I don't know if it's a special bowl or whatever. but
I've
it
been
sells
told that pink is a rare color for Pyrex.
Yeah. I found a snowflake Pyrex in the past. It sold for like 200, and I saw one last weekend with when I was picking up Jess. I saw it from the street. When we pulled up, I'm like, I see snowflake Pyrex, and I knew exactly what it was. But I know she buys Pyrex. That's what she does. So I
Yeah.
was like, you can have it, and she paid $10 for it, and I think it's gonna sell for like 250. So, Jess, if you're watching, you owe me a dinner or something. I feel like being a part of a community, watching, commenting, and all that helps. I have to no desire to do YouTube. Hey, and it's not for everybody, and that's good that you understand that, Shelly, too. There's a lot of people that feel like they have to do a channel, and then they're like always so awkward about it and all that. And I'm like, it's not for everybody. It's
Yeah.
definitely not for everybody.
Yeah, but you're right. Like, I mean, you have to be, and again, you have to be genuine about it. You can't go into bigger resellers' lives or premieres or whatever and be completely fake and be like, all you're doing is bombing and be like, hey, come watch my channel. It's new. It's got. You have to be in there genuinely like talking, but yeah, going in and commenting on people's videos and being in lives. And quite honestly, when I started, I was buying stuff from like Kevin and from Rally Roots and stuff like that. The
Yeah.
people that I knew would say, hey, thanks. And you have a YouTube channel. Go check it out.
Yeah.
I did that. Like, you can't be dumb about it, right? Like, it can't be just annoying. But yeah, I bought stuff from Kevin so that he would say, hey, go check out Troy's channel.
I feel like that worked a lot more back in the day than it works now.
It doesn't work as much now.
Yeah.
No. Because the space got more full. It's more people
Yeah.
are doing it.
Yeah, Schling said you can tell the resellers who are genuine. You two are great. Wow, Schling, you think Troy's genuine? Psh.
It's the beard, man. Like, people trust the
Troy's
beard.
actually, that beard's fake, by the way. You guys don't even know that. He tapes it on every morning.
You know how long that take?
Awkward, you say, right, Kayla? Kayla, you were the definition of how YouTube can make like. Kayla was so afraid to do channels and go live and all that, and it's crazy because she has like an amazing personality, but just afraid to show it, I guess, on camera. So, but as you see, people love her.
I started to like her channel a lot better once I realized I could put the closed captions on. You know, and then I can understand what that was. Once I realized that it has closed captioning,
You can't understand her accent.
it's like game changer, like photo room, like big.
I'm surprised you can understand me then. Do you have closed captions on mine, on my channel too? I feel like she's very easy to. People like give her like a hard time about her accent. I feel like it's really easy to understand.
It is.
I found both of you guys have Cats lives. Interesting. I was never on Cats lives.
You
how
weren't.
you
I thought
found-
you were.
Nope.
I've been on there 3 or 4 times, I think.
Yeah. I wonder how you found me then. Somebody that must have looked like me or something. You were like, let me look this guy up. I am too much of an introvert for YouTube. I'd rather watch the pros learn and grow. Like I can say, the Titanium Barn, it's not for everybody too. Yeah. Maybe you were in someone's video. Probably. That's probably what it was. I was known as a cloud chaser for a while in the beginning. That's.
In the beginning,
Oh, this still now? Yeah, I'm trying to cloud chase off of Troy now. How did I don't know. How did you find me? I don't know. You tell me. I'm glad you found me though, Shelly. I'm glad you did. I don't know how. Maybe it was from Kayla's video. I've been in some of hers. Maybe Kevin's video. I've been in some of his. I don't even know how it works anymore. But even like doing that, like if your content still sucks and you're in other people's videos, it's not going to really help with
Right.
like people coming over and subbing. You know, they might sub, but then they will never watch again if your content's not good. So like,
Right.
that's not the magical formula either. Oh, let me just go and find somebody and just do nonstop collabs and grow that way. It might help in the beginning, but you still have to have
you got to
good
do work.
content
It's
to
a
back
lot
it
of
up.
work.
How many videos do you think you put out in your lifetime?
No, I don't even know. Especially since I'm putting out like 5 a week for a long
You think
time.
it's like thousands?
It may be. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. Does it show on your thing?
I think it shows somewhere.
Videos.
I'm sure it
All
shows somewhere.
I don't see it. It says play all. I don't know if I want to play all of them. It's a lot of videos. Maybe it shows on your end. It doesn't say on here.
I don't know.
I found Paul in the Angel per Night African funeral. Tommy called me clout chaser the whole time. He's one of the people that did the whole thing. I found Paul because of Dave, believe it or not. I don't believe it, Matt. I don't believe it at all. All right. So we're at the 2 hour mark. I'm only paying you for 2 hours, Troy. So
That's true.
I can't I can't keep you much longer than that. I'm gonna have to start buying more ducks, and that goes above my pay grade. What's up, Danica? How are you doing? Anything you want to tell people before you head out? Maybe more about this foundation, how they can help.
Yeah, I mean,
can do.
we do. Again, we got the ducks. If you want a duck, that does go to the Gary Sinise Foundation. I have a link in all my videos. If you just want to give money to them, there is actually a link just to their website.
It's so much more fun buying a duck.
It is. You get something for it. But it's a really cool organization. Like anybody that we do a charity fundraiser for or anything like that, I really work to sort of vet. I don't want to put just anything on there. And I can't remember the number, but there's all those organizations that you give money, but you don't know how much money actually goes to the cause, right?
Yeah.
They are one of the top in the country. And I've actually had viewers that have said hey, yeah, I'm a veteran and I know about this, and it is one of the best. And so it's really cool to know that this is an actual, one of the things they do is they primarily do veterans and first responders that are severely wounded. And one of the cool things they do is build adaptive smart homes for the veterans and stuff like that. And they don't just build it and say, okay, well, here's the house. Now you got to figure out, they literally give it to them. It's mortgage free. They just say, here's your house. And I think that's such an incredible thing for somebody that obviously gave a lot for our country.
I also feel like a lot of times veterans don't get the respect that they deserve. Oh, thanks for sacrificing your life. Now go live on the street when you get back.
Yeah.
Here. So
it's just super cool. And Gary Sinise is a guy that it started in the aftermath of 9/11. He was like, look, I've got this money. I've got this fame. What can I do? And so he's used his name and his energy, and he's put a lot of money. He shows up at all the events. He's one of the guys that gets it. And I can make something happen because I have this fame. And so it's really cool. If you want to go to the website, they're very open about all of their numbers. You can find all the numbers on there, the different projects, how many projects they've done, so it's really cool to be able to do that. So you can give right there, or we have the hat in the store. Actually,
I'm trying to find the hat right now.
He's wearing it back there. The prospector's wearing it. It was actually sent by a viewer. The Vintage Viking sent it to me, and I'm like, well, what can I do with this? Well, let's auction it. And so we're auctioning it off right now. 100% of that goes to Gary Sinise.
What is the hat called so I can find it?
I think it's, let's see. I have a link
Maybe
to
it's
it.
the only one that's at the auction. Okay,
I have a link
Gary
to it in all
Sinise
my
Foundation
videos.
camo.
It's the only hat that I have going, or the only auction.
Yeah, I found it.
Gary Sinise Foundation camo, yeah.
Here's the link to it, guys.
So there is that, but yeah, I mean, even if you just want to go and check out their website, it's just a super cool organization, and yeah.
All I will say again, Troy,
Cool to
is
be a part
thank
of
you.
it.
Things are in the works. There you go. I first discovered Johnson and Sandy Pickard, then kept suggesting Paul. Wow. Well, that's actually good news for me. If I'm getting suggested after
What did
John's
you do to
videos,
make that happen?
I don't know. I have to pay off some YouTube guy for sure. They're like, here's John. He makes great videos. Here's Paul. He makes average videos. That's how it must have went down. It's the only reason it would work.
Funny.
Thank you again, Troy, for being here. Really appreciate
man.
it. I know you have to. It's past your bedtime. I know you have to take your power nap for sure.
Yeah, I've got 4 garage sales tomorrow.
Yeah, you
so
have a lot to hit,
day.
man. You got to wake up super early to hit all the sales, man. You're gonna be out all day.
Well, you don't realize you can drive a block and be at the next sale. I got to drive like 15, 20 minutes sometimes.
Not even a block.
Right.
like
it's not only that I don't have that many, it's that like today, literally from one sale to the other, it was a 25-minute drive.
Yeah, I had some of those like on Fridays. It's rough. And then you go there and like it's advertised this, and this, and then none of it's there. And I'm like,
oh yeah, no, that one was garbage. Like it was straight up like they opened the door. We had like all the resellers were standing there because I was like, man, they are good at writing an ad. Like they had everybody there, despite 2-3 other sales starting at the same time. Everybody went to that sale. They opened the door and they weren't ready at all. Like everything was still in boxes in the garage, like literally still packed in boxes. The video games that they advertised. Do you have any video games? Oh, we actually sold those yesterday to somebody online. Like, and like 3 people were like, whoop, and like that's all they cared about.
yeah.
I needed $3 and change, and they didn't have it. Like the lady pulled out, like
they were
jar.
unprepared.
She literally jumped out of the change jar and was counting out my change in like dimes and nickels for $3. Man, I was like, wow, this is one of those sales where they weren't prepared, and so that was the sale I drove 25 minutes to today. So that was awesome.
I hate when you get there 2 hours into the sale and they're still putting things out. That's actually a good thing, Flower Girl. That means that you can get some fresh items 2 hours later. That's like, that's kind of good.
That's what I told another guy there. Is I like, if there was better stuff sitting out here, this is a great sale where you're like, do you mind if I go through the boxes?
Yeah.
And you start digging, but there was clearly like we were gonna find nothing.
Yeah, those are the worst.
It was just a chaotic like. It was annoying.
Brandon, a little late there. We're ending the show, but hey, welcome in. Next time, I'm keeping attendance. All right. You guys have a good night. Again, thank you, Troy. Hopefully you find some good thing tomorrow. Maybe. At least
I'll
one
find
thing.
something. I always find something.
Find like a nice elk moose head combination. Half elk, half moose. That probably sells. Half elk, half moose, half duck.
Jackalope. If you can find a jackalope, those sell great, actually.
There we go. I don't know what that is, but yeah.
You don't know. Look it up. You got to look it up.
Jackalope? Is that like a antelope with a jackal?
I can't believe you don't know the jackalope. Well, maybe I can.
Is that a fake thing? Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's a fake thing that they make. They sell really, really well.
A jackrabbit?
Yeah. With antlers.
What?
Yeah.
What? Whose idea was that?
If you can find those, they sell every time.
What a combination. Yeah, there's bids right now for like $200 on eBay.
Yeah.
What the heck?
I'm still trying to find my first one. I see them and they're always gone by the time I get they sell very quickly.
That is crazy.
I've never been able to get one at a sale before.
Wow. It's a stuffed jackrabbit with antlers. That's crazy. All right, well, yeah, I'll be. You imagine I find it tomorrow. I find it tomorrow, like all the times. Look, I just heard about this yesterday. Look,
I get 10%.
Deal. Sounds good. All right, guys, you have a good night. Man.